Mary, what are you doing with that knife?
Knife? Why, this isn't a knife, Carl. It's a letter. Can't you see that it's a letter? You're just imagining things again.
Put it down.
Either that or you're trying to make me believe I'm imagining things. All I want to do is read it to you.
Keep away from me. Keep away.
But I'm telling you, all I want to do is show it to you. Show it to you like...
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in Murder Out of Mind. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by Sigmund Miller is Murder Out of Mind. $12:00, midnight, in the home of Carl and Mary Watson. Carl is sleeping, but sleeping restlessly, uneasily. And suddenly...
Mary, what are you doing?
What? Doing? What?
That knife. There in your hand.
A knife? I don't understand. What am I doing with a knife?
My guess would be that you were about to kill me.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Wait till I put on the light.
Carl, your throat, it's bleeding.
It's a pretty sharp knife. It's the touch of it against my throat that woke me.
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't.
Then may I have it?
I'll get you some iodine and a bandage.
Never mind. It's only a scratch.
But it's bleeding.
It's all right. Why did you want to kill me?
But I didn't want to kill you, Carl, darling. I don't know how the knife got in my hand. I was asleep. I don't remember getting it. I don't remember anything. You do believe me, don't you, Carl? You know I wouldn't hurt you for anything.
I do believe you, Mary, but...
Why should I do such a thing?
Possibly because you hate me and wish I was dead.
What? Oh, but I don't, Carl. I love you. I always have.
It is possible to hate someone and not even realize it. You
No.
Hate them subconsciously. You haven't been feeling too well lately, have you, darling?
Oh, only since George's accident, when he was killed.
That could be the reason, you know. Because I lent your brother the car, you could hate me for that.
No, that isn't so. It wasn't your fault.
Of course it wasn't my fault. Your brother was reckless and foolhardy.
Don't say that.
You see?
Carl, you think I'm going crazy?
No, but I think it might be a good idea for us to see a doctor.
A doctor?
A psychiatrist.
Oh, I don't need a doctor. It won't happen again. I swear it won't.
You can't tell, darling. It wasn't something you did deliberately. You might do it again still without knowing it. Next time you might succeed. I think we'd both feel safer if we did see a doctor.
And she tried to murder you in her sleep?
Yes, Doctor. And she was asleep, really asleep.
Well, has there been any other manifestation of erratic behavior?
Yes, lots of little things. She's abstracted, often hears things that aren't there, very forgetful. Well, the other day she forgot to make dinner for me. Of course, she was abject about it, but they all seem to point to an unconscious hostility toward me.
Well, let's call her in. Mrs. Watson, will you come in, please?
Good morning, Dr. Heller.
Good morning, Mrs. Watson.
Has my husband told you?
Yes, he did. Won't you sit down?
Yes, thank you.
Tell me, were you very much attached to your brother?
Well, you see, I raised him since he was a baby. Our mother died soon after George was born.
And there was a strong bond between the two of you then.
Yes. But I'm sure it had nothing to do with last night.
But I didn't say it did. I'm merely gathering all the facts in the case.
Facts? What are the facts? I tried to kill my husband.
Please, Mary.
I'm sorry. It's all so dreadful, Carl. Maybe I am crazy. I
don't think you are. But you may be in need of treatment, Mrs. Watson. Have you been sleeping well lately?
Yes?
Well, have you had any nightmares or terrifying dreams?
No, I don't dream at all.
Or do you find yourself unusually upset when little things go wrong?
No, not generally.
Mary, put Dr. Heller's pen down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You broke the point, jabbing it into the blotter that way.
I didn't mean to. I wasn't thinking.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm very sorry. It's just that, well, I've been nervous ever since my brother was killed.
That's understandable, Mrs. Watson. Can you come in to see me tomorrow? Your husband won't have to come with you.
Oh, yes, Doctor, if you want me to.
You sure you don't want me to come with the Dr. Heller? I'm very much concerned.
I'd rather you didn't, Mr. Watson.
You know best.
This same time tomorrow, then.
Yes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Watson.
Goodbye, Dr. Heller.
Oh, Dr. Heller,
Yes?
what do you think?
But I can't say right now. This was just a superficial examination. She doesn't have any important outward symptoms or anything serious.
Well, what about her jabbing the pen into the blotter? Wasn't that significant? I mean, in a minor way, wasn't she trying to stab me again?
You're being an amateur psychiatrist, and that's dangerous. Goodbye, Mr. Watson.
Goodbye, Dr. Heller. I'll let you know if anything unusual happens.
Do you want another cup of coffee, Carl?
No, darling. Why don't you go to bed? I'll do the dishes.
No, I can do them. I feel fine. I'm not tired at all.
Put the knife down, Mary.
I was just going to cut some cake.
Oh. I guess I'm just a little jumpy.
You're afraid of me.
Oh, don't put it that way. It's just that, well, we should be careful.
Yes, Carl. I'll sleep in the living room tonight.
Well, perhaps that would be best. Then,
Someone's at the door.
why do you say that?
Because the doorbell is ringing.
What are you talking about?
The bell, it's ringing.
Easy, Mary. There's no bell ringing.
But there is. I can hear it.
All right. Open the door and see for yourself.
There must be someone there. There must be. There's no one. The bell stopped.
As soon as you satisfied yourself that no one was at the door, the bell stopped. That is, your mind stopped ringing the imaginary bell.
I don't know what to do. What shall I do, Carl?
Well, Dr. Heller seemed to think he can help you.
He must help me. He must.
Mary!
What?
I didn't say anything.
Didn't you just call my name?
I didn't say anything.
Mary!
Someone's calling my name.
Stop it, Mary. You mustn't let yourself go. Your imagination is running away with you.
Mary, quite contrary.
No, please stop it. Please stop it. Stop it, Carl.
I can't do anything. It's you who's got to stop it. You have to force it out of your mind.
Mary!
I keep hearing it. It's driving me crazy. Do something, Carl. Do something, anything.
I'll call Dr. Heller. Dr. Heller. Carl Watson. Can you come over right away? Yes, she's bad. Very bad. Well, what do you think, Doctor?
I gave her a sedative. She's resting quietly now.
What do you think we ought to do?
Well, I'll be in a better position to tell you tomorrow, when I examine her thoroughly.
I feel rather uncomfortable. She might try to kill me again.
But I can't recommend institutionalizing her. I'm not convinced yet it's necessary. And it might be very harmful to her.
But she might make the attempt again.
Just watch her closely. By tomorrow, I'll know what should be done.
All right. You're the doctor.
It's a very unusual case. As far as I can see, there's no real mental illness. But then again, as I've said before, my examination has only been superficial. I'll see her in the morning. Call me about noon, and I'll let you know.
Yes, Dr. Heller.
And just be on your toes for tonight.
You have a good night's rest, Mary?
Yes, dear. I slept very soundly after that stuff Dr. Heller gave me.
Oh, that's wonderful. What's that you got there?
Tomato juice. We're out of oranges.
You mean you fixed breakfast? Oh, you shouldn't have.
I wanted to. Here, Carl.
Uh-huh. Thanks, darling.
What's the matter?
What did you put in this juice?
What? Why, nothing. Just a dash of lemon.
Lemon? Maybe, but something else, too. Iodine.
Iodine.
Why did you do it, Mary?
But I didn't. I swear I didn't. I just poured the juice out of
Come
the
on,
can.
let's look in the medicine chest.
But
Come on.
please, Carl, please, you've got to believe me. I didn't do it. I just poured the juice out of the can, and the can was fresh.
Here. Here's the iodine bottle. And it's just been used. See? It's on my fingers. And I haven't used it in weeks.
I cut myself this morning.
Where?
I don't know. I just don't understand, Carl. I don't remember even coming in here. I must be crazy. I must be. Really crazy.
A pen stabbed into a blotter and poison for breakfast. Are these both repeat performances of that first attempt to commit murder at midnight? And now, back to Murder at Midnight and Murder Out of Mind.
Irene, over here. Get in quickly. Anyone see you?
No, I waited back where it was dark. Well, what's happening with Mary?
Won't be long now, darling.
Carl, you've said that a dozen times before.
This time I mean it. She's really starting to go.
How do you know?
I just do. She's naturally high-strung and nervous, and I'm making the most of it. Another few days, and she'll be so bad that I can have her institutionalized and keep her there for life.
Life?
Not getting squeamish, are you?
No, but... Well, that's just a little too much for me.
Stop that. It's the only way. She'll never give me a divorce. You know that.
Oh, I know. This driving her mad. I'd almost rather you killed her.
What?
Well, at least that would be quick.
This will be quick, too, from here on in. You just leave everything to me. What happened to Dr. Heller's, Mary?
He asked me a lot of questions for over an hour.
What did he say?
He said I seemed to be all right. He wants to see me again tomorrow.
Did you tell him about the iodine?
Yes.
What did he say about that?
He tried to make me remember it, but I couldn't. I just couldn't remember doing anything like that, Carl.
I spoke to him a little while ago, called him after you left.
What did he tell you?
He thought perhaps you needed a rest.
But I am resting. I'm not doing much work.
You need a rest at a rest home.
What kind of home?
There are nice, quiet, private places where you'll be very comfortable. After all, you'll probably only have to be there for a short time.
No, I won't. I won't go to an institution.
You mustn't get yourself upset about it.
Dr. Heller didn't tell me that.
Naturally not.
I won't go, Carl.
Mary, something must be done about you. You're ill, seriously ill. Twice in 2 days you tried to kill me.
I know.
You hear things that aren't there. You've completely lost control of yourself. If you don't have the proper care, you may get worse. You may become stark, staring mad.
No, don't say that.
Look at you. You can't keep your eyes steady. They dart around like a bird.
I can. I keep them steady.
Look at me.
I am.
You're not looking. You've dropped your eyes. You can't look at me because you feel guilty. You hate me. You want to kill me.
No, I don't hate you at all, Carl. I love you. I really do. I'll be all right. I know I will.
You're getting worse. You keep forgetting things.
I don't forget.
What's today's date? You see, you can't remember the date. How many days in this month?
30 days had September, April, June, and November.
You see, your mind goes back to your childhood. That's what happens with people who are mentally ill. You can't even remember what month this is. What is the month?
I know, if you'll only let me think.
You don't have to think to know what month this is. It's August. Your mind is closing up. You're losing contact with the world outside. Soon you won't even know whether it's winter or summer or whether it's day or night. You need treatment. You need hospital care right now. The thing is, will you take it now, or do you prefer to wait until you're hopelessly insane?
Yes? Carl?
Yes, darling.
How's everything going?
Very well.
When can you come to see me?
I can't, not until Mary is put away.
How's she getting on?
Fine. Another few days and it'll be all over. She's in constant hysterics now. One word from me and she breaks down completely.
What about the doctor?
He's puzzled.
You mean suspicious?
Oh, everything's going to be all right. Now, look, darling, I won't be able to call you anymore, but I'll write you every day. Remember, it won't be long now. Please don't wash the dishes, Mary.
I want to, Carl. I've got to do something.
Well, look, you can't even hold a dish in your hands. Watch out!
It slipped.
Yes, so it did. It slipped because your fingers are getting nerveless.
Carl, I'm fine when you aren't around.
Perhaps it's because you hate me. When you see me, your mind just closes up. You go completely to pieces.
What do you want me to do?
I've made some inquiries about the Chilton home. It's a very fine place in a lovely part of the state. You won't mind being there for a few months?
A few months?
Yes, it might take half a year.
I thought...
What did you think? Well, tell me what you thought.
I can't remember.
Yes, I know you can't remember. It's hard for you to remember. It gets harder and harder every day.
But I'm fine with Dr. Heller. I remember everything with him.
He's a psychiatrist. He knows how to help you. Well, there are dozens of psychiatrists at Chilton.
Dr. Heller never said anything about my going to a sanitarium.
I've had long discussions with Dr. Heller about you. Now, believe me, this is the best course.
If you really think that. If you want me to go, Carl. All right, I will.
Who's that?
It's me, Mary. Can I come in, Carl?
I'm just finishing a letter, dear, to Chilton. I'll be right out.
I just felt lonely. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right, Mary. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just going to mail this.
I'll mail it for you.
No, I don't want you to leave the house anymore. Not alone. It's not safe for you.
Who's there?
Mailman.
Oh, just a moment, please.
Letter for you, Mrs. Watson.
Oh.
Return for lack of postage. No stamp on it.
Well, if you wait a minute, I'll get you 3 cents.
No, can't do that. You'll have to remail it.
Oh, I see. Thank you. To Irene Craig. Who's Irene Craig? Irene Craig. Irene Craig. Dearest Irene, I've done it at last. Mary is committing herself voluntarily to an asylum. Once she's there, I'll be able to keep her there for as long as I want. Today I frightened her so that she forgot her own name. Just a few more days and she'll be a raving lunatic. Have patience, darling Irene, just a few days longer. Love, Carl. Love, Carl. She forgot her own name. My name is Mary. It's Mary, M-A-R-Y. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with me. I'm sane, completely sane. My name is Sane, S-A-N-E, Mary Sane. I tried to kill him, Carl said. That's what he said. I tried to kill him twice. He said I hated him. And all the time, he hated me. He hated me. It's Irene he loves. Irene, whom I don't even know. Maybe she has a better memory than I have. Maybe she knows what today's date is. Maybe she knows what time it is. Maybe she doesn't forget her name. It's Irene. I won't forget her name either. It's Irene. I won't forget anything anymore. I'll remember everything. I must tell Carl and show him how much I can remember. I must bring him something to show how good my memory is. He'll appreciate this. Oh, yes, he will. Oh, yes, he will. He'll appreciate this. Carl? Oh, Carl, dear.
What is it, Mary? Who was that at the door? What are you doing with that knife?
Knife? This isn't a knife. It's only your imagination. It's really a letter to Irene
Mary?
That's in my hand.
That knife down, Mary.
But it isn't a knife. It's a letter. Can't you see it has your signature on it? Love, Carl, it says.
Letter. How do you know about the letter?
Came back without a stamp.
What? Just imagined it. There is no Irene. Now put that knife down.
You know it isn't a knife, Carl. You're just making believe. That gleam is only the gleam of my tears. But it is sharp. When I read it, it stabbed me.
Keep away from me, Mary.
Dr. Heller said I was perfectly sane. He asked me a lot of questions about
No,
you.
he didn't.
Yes, you. He thought there was something the matter with you more than
Stop,
with
Mary.
me. He caught on to you fast.
Mary,
He
put the
did.
knife down,
Remember
please.
what you told me,
Mary.
Carl. You told me that soon I wouldn't know whether it was winter or summer outside, but you made a mistake. It was you who won't know about the weather.
Mary.
You won't care. You'll be
Please,
satisfied with just this letter close in your heart. I hate you. I hate you the way you hated me. Love, Carl. You see, I can look straight in your eye now. I can. But you can't look in mine anymore.
And so the pattern is played out. And the knife that Carl Watson first placed in his sleeping wife's hand ended up in his own heart. You see, we always try to give you poetic justice along with
Murder at midnight.
remember to be with us again when death steals into a tortured mind and the clocks strike 12 for
Murder at Midnight.
Our stars tonight were Charlotte Holland and Alan Hewitt. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
Murder at Midnight.
Quentin, look.
The window, torn out of its frame.
No, they're on the floor. Sylvia.
Good Lord. Her head twisted almost off, and her body looks as if every bone in it was broken.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in Death's Worshipper. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by J. Williams is a tale of fear from afar called Death's Worshipper. On the surface, it's a New York apartment like thousands of others. In a house with a brownstone front on a dark little street. But to Kate Bonney, living here with her brother Peter, it has become a prison cell, a place of menace, a house of terror.
I can't explain, Peter. It's as though I were caught in a spider's web, waiting helplessly while the spider comes closer.
But, Kate, you still haven't told me just exactly what's troubling you.
It's real, Peter. It's a feeling that, well, like in a nightmare when you know something awful is after you and you can't escape. It's drawing closer. It's coming here to this room to find me. What'll I do, Peter? What shall I do?
Please, Kate, pull yourself together. You've got to.
I'm sorry, Peter. I'll try.
Ah, that's better. Now then, let's have it. I can't come home every night to a sister who's afraid of the dark. What's it all about?
Do you remember the weekend I spent at Quentin's place in the country?
Just after he got back from India? Yes, of course.
You couldn't make it and I went alone?
The conference in Chicago, I remember. Reminds me, I wonder why I haven't heard from him since. Those letters he wrote about some discoveries he made.
Discoveries? Don't mention them.
Why not?
Because I have an idea that they're behind everything that happened.
What do you mean?
He didn't even mention the expedition until after dinner that first night. There were just the three of us, Quentin, Sylvia, and myself. He went into quite a bit of detail, describing his reasons for going, the long trip through the jungle.
Finally came to a little gond village and tackled what I was sure was the last belt of jungle. That last stretch took us 6 hours. At last, we broke out into a clearing, and there it was, towering above us, the temple of Shiva the Destroyer.
Oh, that must have been a thrilling moment.
Thrilling? You can't possibly know what that meant to me.
I was just frightened.
Sylvia frightens rather easily.
That's not true, Quentin.
It's just that it looked like some kind of crouching beast with a single devil's horn.
Rubbish. It was breathtaking, Kate. Imagine a great square block of stone set in a riot of jungle foliage. Out of it rises a tremendous three-cornered spire fully 100 feet high.
Oh, that must have been magnificent.
Yes, and the whole thing covered with a lace tracery of stone carving.
And this was what you had set out to find?
This was it. Oh. You see, the Hindu Trimurti, or Trinity, is composed of three deities. Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer.
Yes.
Well, in this tiny district in the hills, there had once been a local cult which worshipped only the destroyer. In a curious and perverted way, well, the worshippers became their god.
I don't understand.
When they prayed to Shiva, the god himself entered and took possession of them. They were Shiva, with all the powers and all the frightful energy of the god.
Good heavens.
No, not a very good heaven. For you see, the heaven of these worshippers was nothingness.
Nothingness?
Yes. For them, the ultimate goal of man was destruction. The merging of oneself into a kind of cosmic non-existence.
Now you can understand how I felt, Kate, when I first looked at that temple.
Yes.
I suppose that, yes, even a greater mind than yours, Sylvia, might well shrink before the majesty of a concept like that.
Well, I know I would have been frightened, too.
But India is a place where just such a concept would originate. Life means nothing there. Death flourishes in 1,000 forms. I climbed the spire of the temple and looked down over the sea of jungle to the brown river in the distance and the thread of smoke that marked the village. I was a midget, an ant, crawling over the surface of a giant's house. Shiva is the giant, and humanity, we're so insignificant, so worthless. I wonder if they weren't right after all, those worshippers of the destroyer.
Quentin.
Perhaps death, nothingness, is the greatest goal.
Stop it, Quentin. Stop it. Do you hear?
Sylvia.
Oh, don't worry, Kate, and don't bother.
Oh, but I don't...
I'm all right. Now. Sorry, Kate. I think I'd better go to bed.
Yes, you're tired, Sylvia.
I am tired. These wild ideas of yours. Of all this talk about Shiva, destruction. I wish you'd get those thoughts out of your head, Quentin. You hadn't been the same man since...
Good night, Sylvia.
Sylvia, are you sure you're all right now?
Yes. Yes, Kate. I'm fine.
But she wasn't fine, Peter. And it wasn't just fatigue that was bothering her. She was frightened, I could see that. Frightened out of her wits by something. And Quentin was different. When Sylvia had left us, he sat looking at me silently for a long while. And when at last he spoke, it was on another note.
You know, Kate, all this talk of nothingness and death makes me believe more firmly than ever that man must try for happiness while he's alive.
I agree. At least it's a pleasanter subject than what we've just been talking about.
I'm glad you think so. Because I'm not happy now, Kate.
But I thought you and Sylvia...
Sylvia. There's nothing between us. Nothing. Hasn't been for years.
But
No, not even when we first got married. But you... When I first met you with your brother Peter years ago, something happened to me. My heart sang. It was as though I had burst out of my shell. I knew then.
Quentin, you don't know what you're saying.
I do. For the first time in years, I know exactly what I'm saying. I've found a philosophy I can believe in, Kate, in a troubled world. And for the first time, I've found strength to tell you that I love you.
Quentin, please.
Kate, listen. Don't be alarmed. It would be so easy to go away together. Anything is possible for me now. Anything. We will go away. It doesn't matter where.
No.
We'll find a new life together. The power I know can be yours, too. I love you, Kate. We can make a new world for ourselves. We can be the gods of that world.
Quentin, stop.
I see. I didn't really expect you to say yes immediately. It is quite a decision. But perhaps I can get you to change your mind.
Quentin, you mustn't think...
You're right. I mustn't think. I must act.
I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep after that. I didn't even try. I went out for a walk. And when I got back, about a half hour later, there was a light in the studio at the far end of the garden. I was curious enough to walk over and look in the window. The room within was hung with oriental tapestries. with odd, crooked Eastern swords. Quentin sat alone, staring at a figure on the table before him. I could hear him through the window. His face was set, wooden, expressionless, but his eyes seemed to shine in the candlelight like a cat's. And the figure before him, it was horrible. It was a bronze statuette with a serene but awful smile on its face, a smile of hellish triumph. A dozen arms sprang from each shoulder. It bore a club with a skull at its tip, and it seemed to dance upon the back of a crouching dwarf. And Quentin, staring at it, was speaking to it. I didn't know what it meant. I only knew that it was awful. That in some dreadful way, Quentin was trying to make his beliefs come alive. I ran up the lawn, and the clouds that spread over the moon seemed like dark shapes rising from some infernal pit. Wings seemed to be beating about the house as the wind rose. And in my ears rang Quentin's chanting. Even in my room I could hear it, mingle with the moaning of the wind. The moon had disappeared. I couldn't see the light in the studio. I was too far to hear it, but the chanting went on. I don't know. I seemed to hear voices in the wind, many voices chanting with Quentin. Thunder growled up from the darkness. Then there was a single flash of lightning and a clap of thunder, and on the heels of the thunder... Oh, Sylvia! Sylvia, are you all right? Sylvia, what's the matter? Oh, Sylvia!
Kate! Sylvia, what was that?
Where are you, Quentin?
Here. I was down in the garden. Did you hear?
Yes, it sounded like it came from Sylvia's room.
This way, quick.
Oh.
She must have been having a nightmare or something.
Quentin. Quentin, look.
The window. Torn right out of its frame.
No, there. On the floor. Sylvia.
Good Lord.
Is she?
Let's see. Good heavens. Her head twisted all around until... And her body. It looks as if almost every bone in it is broken.
Staring at the broken body, which has been flung against the wall with unimaginable force, lying there like a shattered doll, Kate sways weakly in horror. Is this the work of some demon called up by Quentin's incantation? Or is it something else? Then, as a clock strikes somewhere in the silent house, she is certain of at least one thing in a reeling world, that she is in the presence of...
Murder at Midnight.
And now, back to Murder at Midnight and Death's Worshipper.
Pale and shaking, Kate Bonney continues telling her story to her brother.
It was as though something with superhuman strength had twisted her head around and then just tossed her aside against the wall. Every bone in her body was broken.
It must have been pretty ghastly, but surely you're not going to let the memory of that...
It has nothing to do with memory. Something that's more than human. I don't know what killed Sylvia. And now it's after me.
After you?
Haven't you seen the papers in the last few days?
No, you know I've been up to my neck in work. What's that got to do with it?
Oh, look here. These clippings, I've been saving them.
Let's see. Another unsolved murder. Police admit bafflement. No motive. Well?
Go on. Read the rest of it.
Middle-aged man, identified as J.D. Brathwaite, broker. Neck was wrung, apparently, by someone with tremendous physical strength.
Yes, and this one. An unidentified woman, neck wrung and the body thrown against the wall. And this, and this, and this. All the same.
Kate, darling, this is all perfectly ridiculous.
No, look. Here's a map of our neighborhood. The first death took place up here. The next, 2 blocks further south. Don't you see? One after the other, they're coming closer to this house, to me.
Kate, now listen. It's quite clear what's happened. You were upset by Sylvia's death, naturally. Just because of the coincidence of these crimes, you have an obsession that someone or something is haunting you. You've been working too hard. And I suppose you've been having nightmares, too.
They're not nightmares.
I'm going to run across the street to Dr. Sanford.
No, Peter.
You lie down and try to rest. I'll bring Sanford over and have him take a look at you. You're all run down.
No, Peter, don't leave me. You don't know what
Pour yourself a drink, Katie. I won't be a minute.
Who's that? Peter. Is that you? Peter, answer me. Is that... Who is it? Quentin.
Hello, Kate. How are you?
Don't come any closer. I'll call Peter.
Why, Kate? What's the matter?
I suspected then when it happened. And now these last few days I know. Sylvia, you did it. You killed her, Quentin. I don't know how, but
You're
did.
mistaken, Kate. It wasn't I. I was only the instrument of something greater, stronger than man.
Quentin, what do you mean?
Don't be afraid. He's really benign.
He?
Shiva the Destroyer.
Oh.
It is his love for mankind that allows him to bring the blessing of annihilation.
Oh, no.
I worshipped him, and he came. He came in a rush of wind on the thunder and took possession of me. I was Shiva. Using my body, he climbed the wall, burst the window in. He killed Sylvia.
Oh, no.
Yes, Kate, I became Shiva. At least I must have. I don't remember it clearly, but there were great wings, lightnings. And when I came to myself, I was seated in my studio again.
And those others?
You know about them? Yes, I killed others. I don't remember how many. But all life will end in nothingness, and man's highest goal is to dissolve into dust. I was conferring on them the highest possible blessing, obliteration.
Quentin, you're mad. Your discovery...
My discovery has made me a god. Now he's starting to come to me. Now, without the incantation, without my willing it. Sometimes at night I feel the great wind of his coming. I turn to ice as the god approaches to seize upon me, and... Kate, I'm afraid.
But why did you come here? What do you want of me?
I need you, Kate. I'm afraid. That's the truth. I'm afraid of the blackness, of the nothingness, of the inevitable end of all things. When I'm alone, I feel the horror of it, of the darkness. You can save me, Kate. You're the only one who can help me. Sylvia's gone. There's nothing to prevent...
You don't know what you're saying.
Come in, Doctor. Oh, Quentin. Hello. I was just...
Stay where you are. Don't come any closer.
A gun? Now, look, Quentin.
I warn you, don't come any closer. Stand still, Peter. Kate, for the last time, will you come?
Quentin, please listen to reason. Put that gun down.
Quentin.
Easy, Peter.
I wouldn't mind killing you, Peter. But if you wish to live, stay where you are. And don't follow me.
Has he gone mad or what? Kate, what happened?
I'm not sure. He killed Sylvia. He admitted it. And he's killed... I don't know how many others.
What?
It's true. He believes that Shiva, the Destroyer, controls him. He believes that when he kills, he's granting a blessings to the one he destroys.
But that's crazy.
No, not so crazy, Peter. May I say something?
Why, of course, Doctor.
I thought there was something wrong with him the minute I saw him. His eyes, I think it's a case of self-hypnosis. Something like the Moros practice when they run amok. They believe that they're possessed by God, and while in this state, they can actually perform amazing feats of strength and endurance. A number of primitive peoples have the same belief. Dervishes, Indian fakirs. Your friend must induce this state by an incantation of some kind, or by concentrating on some object until the hypnotic state is induced.
That's true. I heard him. I saw him praying to the image of Shiva. That's how he must do it.
Well, if it is true, he's extremely dangerous. We'd better get the police. May I use the phone?
Wait. I can't believe it.
He certainly wasn't joking about that gun, Peter. And according to your sister, he's already killed several times.
No, he mustn't do that. Peter's right. We're his friends. And he loves me. He said I was the only one who could help him. He really is afraid and alone.
Of course, Kate. Doctor, Quentin and I were kids together. If he's in trouble, we've got to do something to help him, not call the police down on him. Where do you think he's gone?
I'm sure he's gone back to his house in the country. We could try there anyway.
My car is just around the corner. I think we're taking an awful chance, but on the other
It's
hand...
a chance we've got to take, Doctor. He told me that Shiva comes to him now without incantation. I'm terribly afraid of him and of what might happen. But I'm more afraid of what he may do now to himself or to someone else.
We turn right here below the toll gate.
That dirt road?
Yes. Look, isn't that a tail light up ahead?
Another car. It may be his.
There's a storm coming up.
If it'll just hold off for a while.
A storm. Just like that first night.
Here, the other car's turning off.
That's the driveway to Quentin's house.
Step on it. The house is dark.
Perhaps we were wrong.
No. I know where he is. This way around to the back.
There's a light.
That's the studio.
Quiet. Quiet. Let's have a look first. Well, he's there. Alone. Sitting behind the table with some sort of statue in front of him.
A statue of Shiva.
The door's open. Come on.
The bright one, the happy one, Ishtadevata.
Peter,
Soma
listen.
Vivesvara.
Quentin, what are you doing?
The incantation. He's calling up that demon. Quentin, stop!
Gaja Mahamurti.
Quentin, it's
Approach
Kate.
strong
Don't you hear
power.
me? Stop it,
Gaja.
please. Please, Quentin.
Kate? Kate, is that? Sveta Mahayogi. Approach.
He's in a trance.
Shall we?
No, don't touch him. The slightest thing now might turn him into a raging maniac. Let your sister try.
Quentin, you must stop. This awful thing, it isn't you anymore. It's not what you want. You said you loved me. If that's true, you must shake this madness off.
Kate, calling me? I can't. He's too strong for me.
Try, Quentin. Try. You can do it. Come back, Quentin. If you really love me, fight it. Fight it.
I can't. He's coming. Coming. Can't you hear them? Get away, Kate, before he comes. Only one thing left. One thing I can possibly... the statue. Smash it and...
Don't move, Peter.
What was it?
I can't see. That flash.
Lightning. It must have struck.
Quentin. Quentin.
Let me look, Kate. He's dead. That lightning bolt killed him immediately.
Dr. Sanford.
Hmm?
What's that on his forehead?
Burn. Lightning does curious things.
Yes, but there. The head of the statue he smashed. The same mark on its brow. Like an eye. A third eye. The mark of Shiva.
The vengeance of a thwarted god? Or coincidence? Kate and her brother look at each other, and then again at the contorted face with that inexplicable burn etched like the mark of Cain upon its forehead. And in the distance, from some far-off steeple, a clock begins to chime the hour. 12 strokes for...
Murder at midnight.
never to be with us again when death hovers on dark bat wings and the clocks strike 12 for
Murder at Midnight.
The part of Kate was played by Bess Johnson, and Carl Emery was Quentin. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
Murder at Midnight.
She seemed to be making for the roof, but on the top floor, we finally caught up with her.
Crane, please, please. That ape, get him out of here. I'll do anything, anything.
You treated me like an animal, Cecily, and now an animal shall treat you as you deserve, choke you to death.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest and our fears the strongest, our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in The Ape Song. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by Peter Martin is The Ape Song. Night and fog shroud a nondescript freighter just in from Africa and now unloading its cargo in New York Harbor. Down in the ship's deepest hold stands Crane Folliot, the famous big game hunter. Before him is an iron cage containing his latest conquest, a restless thing of panic and hysteria and insensate passions, a huge ape.
Quiet. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to kill you, hurt you. I've killed too much already. And besides, I need you to live, need your help. Now, that's better. Yes, my friend, you shall live to save me from death. A death in life.
I'll be taking them off in a minute.
Huh? Oh, good.
Lucky thing we were able to get a hold of another truck.
Why the university forgot to send their truck is beyond me. Still, I don't think keeping the animal in my cellar overnight will harm him or anybody.
Look at him shake, though. He's scared.
Not scared, exactly. That's because, like all apes taken from their natural habitat, he imagines he's in the presence of death.
Death?
Yes.
What's he doing now? Opening and closing his mouth as if he were trying to sing or something.
How did you know?
No. Know what?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you wouldn't know. They can sing, though.
Yeah?
They do. But only when they're in the presence of death. We rode home through the foggy night in the truck, the ape and I. The house was dark when we got there, and I had to give the driver and his helper an extra $20 to take the canvas-covered crate holding the ape around to the back door and into the cellar. Walking up the cellar stairs, I entered the front hall and...
Folliot, is that you?
Dr. Murchison.
Yes, welcome home.
What What are you doing here?
Your wife was just going out when I came here, but she let me in, and I've been waiting for you.
Waiting for me?
Yes. I was about to go myself when I heard the noise downstairs.
Oh, I suppose you want to know where the ape is. Well, he's downstairs, in the cellar.
I see. Folliot, why did you bring the ape here rather than to my laboratory?
Well, the laboratory truck never arrived.
What? It's impossible. I personally arranged for it to meet you at the pier.
Why are you questioning me, Dr. Murchison? You don't really think I want an ape as a house guest, do you? The only thing I was interested in was to get the ape to a safe place until morning. Then I was going to call you.
I see.
Can't you wait to start cutting him up, whatever you intend to do with him? You want to take him with you now?
Well, you know that's impossible, Folliot. And you know we don't intend to cut him up.
Well, I'm sorry, Doctor, but the strain taking care of him, you know what delicate animals they are. Won't you come into my study and we can talk?
Thanks, Folliot, but now that I know he's safe, I must be running along.
As you wish. When will you send the truck around to take him to the laboratory?
Oh, around noon, I should say.
Good.
Get some sleep, man. You look terribly tired.
Yes, good, peaceful sleep at last.
Hello, someone's at the door.
Yes, I imagine it's my wife.
Oh, Crane.
Hello, Cecily.
You're back.
Yes.
Why?
Why? That's a strange question. You know Dr. Murchison, don't you?
Yes.
I was just about to leave, Mrs. Folliot.
You must excuse my wife, Doctor. She's so pleased at seeing me that she's forgotten her manners.
I understand. Well, I'll be in touch with you.
Right?
Good night, Mrs. Folliot.
Good night. Crane, you promised you'd stay away until November.
Yes, I know I did. But the thought of you all alone in this big house doing nothing but waiting for me to return to your welcoming arms. What else could I do but rush home as quickly as I could, my dear?
Don't be sarcastic, Crane.
On the contrary, my dear. I'm not being half as sarcastic as I'd like to be.
Excuse me, I'm going to bed.
But don't you care for me just a little, Cecily? Just enough to kiss me goodnight.
Let me pass.
I've never asked very much of you, you know. No more than the friendly pat on the head you give to your dog.
I said let me pass.
Yes, Cecily. But first, there's something I must tell you. How tired I am of being a hunter, of killing wild animals instead of enjoying the happiness of my home with you.
You seem to enjoy your hunting trips well enough. You're always going on them and bragging about them to everybody. Now, let me pass, Crane.
Please believe me, Cecily, hunting is only a substitute. A very unsatisfactory substitute for the love I hope to receive from you. I never do.
I thought we'd settled all that.
Yes, but I never dreamed you'd treat me like some loathsome animal you couldn't bear near you, as though I wasn't a man, but an ape.
When are you leaving on your next trip?
When?
Yes. Because until you do, I'm going away.
If you hate me so much, my dear, why don't you go to Reno and get divorced?
You know my family doesn't approve of divorce.
Of course they don't. Especially when it's a matter of losing the Folliot millions along with a husband.
How can you be so disgusting?
Something terrible has happened to me, Cecily. Something which forbids me ever to go hunting again.
Don't make silly excuses. You know you love to hunt.
Not anymore, Cecily. Something has happened that makes me terrified ever to hunt again.
What on earth are you talking about?
I really can't explain it, my dear. But on this last trip, every time I killed a wild animal, I imagined I was killing you. I watched her run up the stairs in terror. I heard the slam of her bedroom door. Stood there at the foot of the stairs for a moment, dazed, yet more certain than ever of what I had to do. And then, quite unexpectedly, I felt the wet sting of tears on my cheeks. Yes, there were tears, but no sound. I thought of the ape in the hold of the ship, silently opening and closing his mouth. Some outside force seemed to be guiding me now, as though I was a mechanically controlled robot. I began walking down the hallway to the cellar door. The darkness didn't frighten me. It was my friend. I went down the cellar steps in perfect calm, never thinking to snap on the light. No, it was the darkness that soothed me, whispered to me. The darkness and the presence of my friend. He sensed me, of course. And more than that, he expected me. He knew I was coming. I went to him. There he was, outlined in the dim light of a faraway street lamp, coming into the cellar from the grating over my head. Yes, my friend. You want to be free, don't you? Yes, and why not be free? But before I let you out of your cage, we must understand each other. There is a price you must pay for your freedom. Am I really being so unreasonable? Listen, you shall do what I command you to do with an ecstasy of satisfaction. Do you hear? For this time it is no animal you will see die, but a human being. And more than that, my friend, you will not only see her die, but you yourself shall kill her, shall avenge all the terrible deaths I have dealt your fellow brothers of the animal kingdom. I see you are pleased, and you should be. Didn't I kill your mate? But I tell you, Cecily drove me to it in my need to quench my murder lust against her. And now, my friend, you shall act as my conscience. You shall kill Cecily in revenge. Your spirit shall be my spirit, and Cecily will die. Yes, you do understand. Here in my hand is the key to your cage, the key to your freedom, and mine. We have made our bargain, haven't we? Yes. We understand each other as though we were two brothers. Yes. Come out. Now, upstairs to her room. It is there that you shall sing at last. Yes, your song of freedom, your ape song.
And so man and ape start for the room of their victim. Start up the stairs side by side in the darkness as the clock strikes 12 for
Murder at midnight.
And now back to Murder at Midnight and the Ape Song.
Crane Folliot and his ape continue up the steps to Cecily's room.
We went up the cellar stairs together. And it didn't seem strange when the ape took my hand as though wishing me to guide him. And then for a moment I was afraid of trouble. The ape became fascinated with the heavy carpeting in the hallway, patting it with his hand as an infant plays with sand. But finally I got him to stand up and come with me. We made hardly any sound as we climbed the main staircase leading to her room.
Who is it?
What is it, my dear? What's the matter?
Oh, something in the room. I hear it. I see its eyes.
But that's fantastic, my dear.
There it is. Crane, what are you doing to me?
I see nothing. I hear nothing.
Crane, let go of my arm.
In a moment, but won't you kiss me, please?
You're going to kill me.
Oh, no, not I. Come, aren't you going to kiss me just once, as you used to in the old days?
All right. Yes, anything. But let me go.
Good. Now, let me hold you in my arms. Oh, Cecily, I need you so. Why have I lost you? Why did you forsake me, Cecily?
Go!
Cecily, come back. Don't run. You can't get away. Very well, if that's the way you want it. It was quite a chase. I followed them as they ran through the house from room to room, floor to floor. She seemed to be making for the roof, but I knew if she got away from me, she'd never shake off the ape. Finally, on the top floor, we caught up with her in the attic.
Crane! Please, that ape! Get him out of here, Crane. I'll do anything.
You treated me like an animal, Cecily. And now an animal shall treat you as you deserve. Choke the life out of you. There she is, over there in the corner.
No, Crane.
She made me kill your mates. Kill her! Kill her! Kill her! Goodbye, Cecily. I felt wonderful. I stood over her body and thought I could smell the sea and hear the pounding of the clean waves. And I felt sleepy again. Really sleepy again. I knew I could sleep now. I don't know how long I stood there or how long the doorbell was ringing until I remembered that it wasn't I that had killed her, but the ape. I was safe. Why not go downstairs and open the door?
Couldn't get a taxi, and I wanted to see the ape first thing in the morning anyway, so I thought I'd come back to that comfortable sofa of yours.
Dr. Murchison, the ape has escaped.
Escaped?
Yes, he jumped out of a window into a tree after killing my wife.
Folliot, what are you saying?
Yes, right after you left. The first I knew of it was when she screamed. I ran upstairs to her room, but...
Queer.
What was that?
I merely said it was queer. I can't tell you how sorry I am, Folliot, for you.
Sorry. For me?
Shouldn't I be?
In a way. Yes, it's lucky you did come back. We'll have to organize a search for the ape, of course. Call the police.
Yes. I am sorry for you, Folliot. Terribly sorry.
The days that followed were the happiest of my life. At the inquest, the coroner's verdict was death by accidental strangulation. The ape could not be found, and the official opinion was that he drowned in the river, his body carried out to sea. Everything had worked out perfectly until I began to become aware of something strange and frightening and horrible. All this was happening to me. One day on the street.
You dropped a coin, sir.
Oh, thanks, that dime. I have it.
Did you hurt your finger? Here, let me pick it up for you.
Thank you. My thumb. Somehow I can't seem to bring it across. My thumb was no longer opposable. I couldn't bring it across my fingers. I never realized what it could mean until a few days later at a ball game.
Get your scorecard at the game. Can't tell nothing without a scorecard, mister.
Never mind.
Come on, mister. Only a dime a scorecard. You don't want to spoil the pleasure of the game just for a dime, do you?
Move on, you idiot.
Yeah, who are you, a quiz kid or something?
I said get out of here. Take your hands off of me, you ape, you. What was happening to me? I could hardly force myself to think about it, but I had to, especially after what happened at my club.
I say there, Folliot, old man. Have a seat in the chat.
Thank you, Sam, but I've got to be going.
Yes, of course. I see.
You see what?
Lumbago, eh? Can't straighten up your back. Going to a doctor, eh?
You think it would help, do you?
I don't know. But you certainly can't spend the rest of your life bending over like that, with your hands hanging halfway to your knees.
A half hour later, I was in Murchison's office.
Now, you must take it easy, Folliot. We all have our off days, you know.
You've got to help me, Dr. Murchison. You don't know what I'm going through.
I wonder. You do look rather...
I can't stand wearing shoes anymore. They torture me. And I can't straighten my back up.
Have you ever had rheumatism? Any severe back injury?
Rheumatism? You sit there talking like that when I've caught myself making sounds like an ape? Don't you realize what's happening? That's what I'm becoming, an ape. You're a psychiatrist, aren't you? Well, do something. You've got to do something.
Quit your whimpering and listen. I can help you, but only if you cooperate.
I'll do anything.
Admit you arranged for your wife's murder.
What?
With the ape's help. Everything points to it, Folliot. Bringing the ape to your house, your strange behavior before and after I left. And now the transference.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's quite simple. Arranging for the ape to strangle your wife put you legally in the clear. But you can't strangle your guilt. You can only suppress it. And unconsciously in your guilt, you have taken on the actual characteristics of the ape.
If you say that again, I'll kill you.
Killing me would only prove your guilt twice over. Be sensible, Folliot. Trust me. I've taken extensive note on your case.
You've taken note?
Yes, because I knew that some sort of reaction would set in. Folliot, no. Keep away from me.
No. You're going to turn me over to the police. You're against me, too. Everyone's against me, trying to hunt me down, but you won't get me. You won't.
Please stop that.
I dropped him, and he fell to the floor gasping. And then I tore open the door and ran. I didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do next. I only knew I had to hide. I found an abandoned house, hid in the cellar, and there in the darkness, it all became clear. Ape. The ape who had killed Cecily. I was the ape. That meant he was Crane Folliot, and that meant... Yes. I had to find him somehow. Kill him for killing Cecily. And that way become my old self again. Ape, where could I go? Where would I hide if I were he? Where there is green, yes, and trees, and rocks. Ape, yes, in the park. That night in the park, I threw off my shoes and walked barefoot, concealed in the night as I hunted my mortal enemy. Piece by piece, I discarded my clothes, my jacket, my shirts, my trousers, walking like the animal I had become. My eyes were sharper than they'd ever been. I could see even in the darkness. And then, as the moon started to go down, I climbed a ridge. There were caves, cages, stone houses, the zoo. And then I heard something that made the hair prickle on the back of my neck. My fingers itched and my body shook as I heard the sound that told me I had found my enemy, the ape. I jumped down toward the sounds, my lips puffing in and out with my heavy breathing, my head pounding like a trip hammer, my entire body aflame with the hot blood of murder. I ran to where the sounds came from, and there was a locked steel door. The ape was snarling, daring me to come near him. I ran around to the other side, wrenched a fire axe from the wall, and came back to the door. I smashed at the lock with the sharp edge of the axe, opened the door, and leaped into the cage. He reared at me with his hind legs, and I sprang at his throat.
Holy Moses! Jake, get your gun quick! There's a man in there! Hurry up now!
Die for killing Cecily! And die and me too! Let me be Folliot! Folliot, do you hear?
Watch out, the cage is open!
Dead. You're dead. And I free!
There he is, Jake. Let him have it. Yes, it's he. I pronounce him dead.
Who'd have thought a man could make a sound like that? It was dark, and we thought the ape had killed him, so Jake just fired.
What gets me is his trying to kill an ape with his bare hands and doing it.
To his crazed mind, this was the same ape he provoked into killing his wife.
I'll never forget that sound as long as I live. Never.
The complete transference into ape. Yet he could have been saved. Look at them lying on the ground. Too bad we couldn't have gotten here a minute sooner.
Sure left an easy trail, dropping his shoes and clothes after him piece by piece.
Ape and man on the ground, side by side.
It ain't pretty.
His toes turned in, puffs of hair from the ape's throat still clutched between his fingers, his teeth biting into his lower lip. Poor Folliot. Or should I say poor humans? How close to animals we really are.
Two bodies lying side by side in the darkness, with no one to say which was the victim. As the clock strikes 12 for
Murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when death pads through the night with glowing eyes
and the clocks strike 12 for
Murder at Midnight.
The part of the big game hunter was played by Raymond Edward Johnson. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
Let go of me. Let go.
First, I have a little surprise for you. Look there, right in front of you.
Tombstone. 3 of them.
The first one is your mother. The second one is your brother. They're both sleeping soundly under them. And the third one...
It's mine.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in The Man with the Black Beard.
And now, Murder at Midnight, Tales of Mystery and Terror by radio's Masters of the Macabre. Our story by Sigmund Miller is The Man with the Black Beard. A few minutes before 12 o'clock, midnight, Charles Corbett is sleeping peacefully, but not his wife, Evelyn.
Helen. No. No, don't touch me.
There's no use running. You can't get away.
Please let me alone.
You mustn't be afraid, Evelyn.
You. That black beard. I've seen you before.
Of course you've seen me before. Everybody does. Sooner or later.
No. I don't want to see you. And I won't.
Scalpel, please.
What are you doing? You can't operate on me. You can't.
Just hold still. After this first incision, you won't feel anything.
No, there's nothing wrong with me. Let go of me.
No one's holding you. Get up.
I'm trying to. I can't.
No, Evelyn.
Your face. Your growing beard.
Yes, Evelyn.
A black beard. You're the man with the black beard who's been following me.
Yes, Evelyn.
No.
I'm afraid you're going to die. The prisoner will rise.
Prisoner?
I find you guilty. Guilty of trying to run away from the man with the black beard. You are sentenced to be guillotined.
No. No, please, I didn't do anything wrong.
Step up these stairs, please.
My husband. Let me call my husband.
No time for that. Raise the guillotine.
Please, give me another chance.
You'll only run away again. Head down, please.
No, no, no. Oh, why do you hate me? Why do you want to kill me?
Because you hate me.
And for this you must die.
Evelyn, for heaven's sake, what's the matter, darling?
Charles, help me.
Stop it. You're perfectly safe. Look, darling. Look, you're in bed.
I'm in bed?
Yes.
Oh, Charles.
Oh, what was it, darling? What was it? Was it a bad dream?
Oh, Charles. It was the most dreadful dream I've ever had.
Oh, there.
There was a man with a black beard, and he was trying to kill me.
No, darling.
At first, he was a doctor. He was going to operate on me. And then he tried to guillotine me. And the knife was just going out.
Oh.
But you...
Poor darling, it's all my fault.
Oh, no. Why is it your fault?
Telling you about that latest case of mine, that murder case.
No, Charles. No, I don't think it was that. No, I've dreamed about that man with the black beard before. Charles, it means something.
But when did you dream about it before?
I don't know. It was about a month ago.
Oh. Oh, yes, that was when I got my new job. That makes sense.
No, Charles, there's something else. I can't help feeling it. I can't help feeling that I'm going to die.
Don't say that, Evelyn.
No, I feel it in my bones, Charles. I'm certain. I'm going to die. Soon.
Corbett speaking.
Mr. Corbett, I'm glad I got you. Central Hospital's been trying to reach you.
Who?
Central Hospital.
Oh, they must have the wrong Corbett. I don't know anyone there.
Oh, they said it was about your wife.
My wife? What about her?
Well, she collapsed down the street, and they brought her into the hospital.
Okay. I'm going right over. Oh, darling, what is this? I came right over. What is it? Baby. Please, honey, don't cry. Oh, look, tell me.
Charles. Charles, I saw him.
You saw who?
The man.
What
The
man?
man with the black beard.
The one you dreamed about last night?
Yes.
Where?
Well, he was in the street.
In the street?
No, I left the office. I was going out for lunch. And I was just going out of the lobby when I saw him, a man with a black beard.
Oh, now, darling.
I stared at him. I tried to place him. And then I realized that he was the man from my dream. He nodded to me, Charles. I guess I must have fainted.
Well, Evelyn, honey, it can't be the same man. It's just your imagination.
No, Charles, it's not. It was the same man. I remember his face in every detail.
No, I don't see. Oh, I guess we have to do something about this, darling. What can we do? Look. Suppose we go to see Dr. Lieber. He should be able to help you.
No. It's no use, Charles. He's after me. The man with the black beard. I'm going to die, Charles. I'm going to die.
Can you describe the man to me, Mrs. Corbett?
Yes, Doctor, I can. He has a long, narrow face, deep-set black eyes, and a black beard.
Had you ever seen him before you dreamed of him?
No, I don't think so.
And you believe the man you saw in the street and the one you dreamed about are the same?
I know they are.
You say he nodded to you, as if he knew you.
Oh, he knew me, all right. He wants me to die.
You met him twice?
Yes, and both times he nodded.
I can understand your being afraid of him. But I think you also hate him. You do hate him, don't you?
Hate him? Doctor, I could kill him without even thinking twice about it.
I see. What do you think, Dr. Lieber? If she did not hate him, the explanation would be simple. She might have seen this man with a black beard before she dreamed of him just passing in the street. And she could have had a nightmare about him. But hate is important. Hating him the way she does, that means he has become a symbol to her.
A symbol? Then you don't believe he's a real person, do you? That he's really threatening me?
Not in the way you mean.
What we'll have to do is to find out just what he does stand for.
But, Doctor, I tell you, I know what he stands for. He stands for death.
I'm not going to tell you to forget him, Mrs. Corbett, because you won't. But if you'll come back again tomorrow, well, we'll see if we can't find out a little more about him.
But, Charles, what are you doing here?
Waiting for you, darling. We're going to have lunch together.
You mean you'd like to take a look at the man with the black beard?
Well, yes. Look, you say you met him right here on this street corner.
Yes, right here. Twice. Oh, Charles, are you doing this because you believe me or because you don't believe me? Or is it because you think I've gone mad?
Oh, my dearest, what a question.
Well, maybe he won't show up today.
Well, then I'll try again.
Yes, and maybe that I can see him, and maybe you can't. Maybe it's just a... Charles.
Huh?
Look.
Where?
There. Coming towards us.
Well, I'll be... Oh, just as you described it.
Then you do see him.
How do you do?
He spoke to me. He never did that before.
Getting into that car. Hey, you! Wait, I want to talk to you.
He isn't paying any attention, Charles. He's driving away.
Can't let him get away. Taxi! Come on. Taxi! Here, inside, Evelyn, quick.
Where'd
you, bud? Follow that black car. We've got to see where he goes.
Listen, mister, how much longer are we going to keep tailing this guy? We're way outside the city limits.
Yeah. We're going to tail him until we find out where he's going. You haven't lost him, have you?
No, he can't go much further because this road... Hey, he's turning off.
Huh?
Into the cemetery.
What? What did you say?
The Cypress Cemetery. He's going in.
Oh, step on it, will you? And then I catch him.
Don't worry. There's just this one road, and the entrance gate's on the other side of this curve. There's an attendant there. He'll have to stop and show a pass or something. Holy smoke.
He's gone. Hey, stop at that gate, will you?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, we're looking for a big black car that just came through here.
Black car? There hasn't been a car through here for an hour.
You see, Charles, I told you.
Stop it, Evelyn.
I told you.
Stop it. Look, there must have been one. We followed it all the way from town. A man with a black beard was driving it.
Mister, I say there hasn't been a car through here for an hour. With or without a beard.
A man with a black beard and a black car vanishing into thin air at the gates of a cemetery. But then, where would you expect a trail to end that began with a nightmare? A dream of
murder at midnight.
And now back to Murder at Midnight and The Man with the Black Beard.
we find Evelyn deep in another terrifying encounter with the man who haunts her day and night.
Evelyn.
You again? What are you doing here?
Waiting for you.
No.
You were looking for me, remember? You and your husband right here in the cemetery.
No, I've got to get up. This is just another dream. It's a nightmare.
Is it? Look at me. I'm very real. Here, touch me.
No, you're cold.
Always.
Oh, why don't you leave me alone? Why are you pursuing me?
It's you who are pursuing me.
It's a lie. I hate you.
Naturally. I have a surprise for you.
I don't want to see your surprise. Oh, I've got to wake up. I've got to.
First, you must look at my surprise. Look there, right in front of you.
Tombstones. 3 of them.
The first one is your mother. The second is your brother. And the third one, do you recognize that?
It's my own.
Can you read the inscription?
Oh.
It says, Evelyn Corbett, beloved wife. Simple, but dignified.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Now, if you kindly step down into your grave, our business will be finished.
No, I won't do it. I won't. I don't want to die.
I'm afraid I must insist.
No, I won't.
This time you can't help yourself, even by waking up. This time in you go.
Evelyn! What are you doing on the floor? What is it?
Oh,
Darling, what's the matter?
it was he again. Who? It was the man with the black beard. He threw me into my grave.
Oh, no, darling. You fell off the bed, that's all.
Oh,
Here, darling, let me help you up. Back on the bed. There.
Oh, Charles. Oh, Charles, if this keeps up, I'll go out of my mind.
I know, darling.
Oh, Charles, do something. You just got to do something.
So you actually saw him, this man with the black beard, Mr. Corbett?
I certainly did. He looked just as Evelyn described him to.
And he disappeared at the cemetery?
Yes, Doctor, he did.
Well, that isn't so mysterious. He might have gone off on a side road or something like that.
But he didn't, Doctor. He just vanished into thin air.
Mrs. Corbett, I want you to try to remember how many times you've dreamt about it. Now, it's important.
Yes. 3 times.
Are you sure?
Well, I think I am.
When was the last time someone close to you died?
Died. About 6 years ago.
Who was it?
It was my brother. My only brother.
Were you very fond of him?
Yes.
Did you have nightmares then?
Well, yes, I think so.
Did you dream about the man with the black beard then?
I'm not sure.
Think back.
No, I can't remember. I have a feeling that I did. Only I can't be too certain.
It will come to you. Maybe not now, maybe tomorrow or the day after. Let me know immediately when it does.
I don't get this, Doctor. What has that got to do with the immediate problem?
A great deal, Mr. Corbett.
But the man with the beard is a real person.
No, he isn't. He isn't a real person.
But he was
no,
there.
I think he's dead. Hunting for me.
I see. Of course, one way we can prove he's not is to get hold of him. Talk to him.
Well, I'll take that job. I'll find him. And when I do, he's going to do a lot of talking. Hello.
Mr. Corbett?
Yes?
Oh, this is the office calling. The boss wants you to investigate a new case.
Yeah.
The body of a Mr. Hampton was found in the river today. He was heavily insured, and they want you to go down to the city morgue to look at the body as soon as possible.
Okay, I'll go down right now. Goodbye. When was that body fished out of the river?
Several hours ago.
Uh-huh. Okay. You can put the sheet back.
Now, what do you think? Murder, suicide, or accident?
Well, I don't know yet. Hey, there he is. Here.
He? Who?
The man with the black beard. He just walked out of the slab room.
I didn't notice.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, gone. Must have taken the elevator. Ring. Oh, I've got to find that guy. Come on. Okay, watch your step. Did you just take down a man with a black beard? No, sir. But you must have. He came out of here just a minute ago. Well, maybe he walked down. It's only 2 flights. Oh? Where are the stairs? Right over there. Okay, I'll see.
Hello?
Hello, Dr. Lieber?
Yes?
This is Charles Corbett.
Anything wrong?
I just saw the man with the black beard again.
You did? Where?
Down at the morgue.
Did you talk to him?
No, he disappeared. I ran after him, but he just vanished.
That's too bad.
We've got to get a hold of him, Doctor. Perhaps we can meet him at the street corner near my wife's office. She's seen him there several times.
I have a very heavy schedule, but when's the best time?
About 1 o'clock?
I'll be there.
Look, should I have Evelyn come too?
Yes, that might be a good idea.
Good. Maybe we can clear this up today.
Charles, I'm afraid.
Oh, there's no reason to be afraid, dear. I'm with you, and Dr. Lieber will be here any minute.
Well, if I see him again, I don't know what'll happen.
Nothing will happen. Believe me, darling. Look, once we talk to him... Here he comes.
Where, Charles?
Right there. Dr. Lieber.
Oh, I thought you You startled me.
Hello.
I'm glad you could come, Doctor.
And I'm terrified. Doctor, do we have to do this?
It's the quickest way of getting to the bottom of it. What time have we got, Mr. Corbett?
I have 5 to 1.
Yes, it's just about the time he passes by.
I hope he doesn't keep us waiting too long.
Dr. Lieber, really, you've been wonderful about this whole thing. If it hadn't been for you and Charles, I don't...
What is it, Mrs. Corbett? What's the matter?
Over there.
It's he. He really does have a black beard.
I've got to get away. I've got to get away.
Stay here. Nothing's going to happen to you.
He's coming over here.
Good.
Oh, don't let him touch me. Don't.
Please, Mrs. Corbett.
Good afternoon.
How do you do, sir?
I believe you're the people who are looking for me.
How did you know that?
The guard out at the cemetery told me. He described you and the lady perfectly. Oh, look out.
I've got her. Evelyn.
She's fainted.
Evelyn,
Better take her someplace quiet where she can...
My place is just up the street there, a few doors. If it won't bother you too much, we...
Of course not. Show us.
Here we are.
But this is... It says Blakely's funeral parlor.
Yes, I'm Mr. Blakely.
An undertaker?
Yes, a mortician.
Of course. This is finally beginning to make sense. Put it down on the couch there, Corbett.
Makes sense. How?
Do you know Mrs. Corbett, Mr. Blakely?
I've seen her a few times in the street. We seemed to have lunch at about the same time. She stared at me, and I assumed she knew me, so I nodded to her.
You've had no other dealings with her?
Not that I know of, no.
What was your wife's maiden name, Corbett?
Huh? Harper. Why?
Would you look that name up in your files, Mr. Blakely?
Why, yes, of course. Let me see. Hadley, Halton, Harper. Cecilia M. Died January 26, 1926. Buried at...
Why, that was her mother.
And that's the answer. She loved her mother very much.
Very much. Yes, she was only 6 years old at the time, but she always said...
An age of deep feeling, without any real understanding of cause and effect. Her mother died, and Mr. Blakely came and took her away. As a result, she attributed her death to him. He came to represent death to her, and thus became an object of terror and hatred.
But I don't understand. After all these years...
She didn't remember him consciously because she wanted to forget about him. But the subconscious mind never forgives or forgets. She must have seen him in the street without really being aware of it. Then her subconscious mind went to work, started creating those nightmares.
And you think that when we tell her all this and we explain...
I'm sure of it.
Yes, but Doctor, how can we explain the attendant at the cemetery and the guy at the morgue? You know, they said they hadn't seen him.
Now that we know that Mr. Blakely, the bearded man, is an undertaker, a mortician, the explanation is simple. He was such a familiar figure at the cemetery and the morgue that his presence did not quite register on their conscious mind. Just as we never notice our waiter at a restaurant.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, of course. I see.
Now, let me take a look at her. She should be coming to now. Good Lord.
What is it? Doctor, what's the matter?
I don't seem to find any pulse. I'm afraid. The strain and the shock.
You mean? You mean?
I'm afraid she is, Mr. Corbett. After all, when we believe someone to be death, they can be death.
A woman, dead of fear, created in her own mind, lying on a couch in a funeral parlor. The logical place to end a story that began with a nightmare. A terrifying dream of
murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when death steps smiling from behind a tombstone and the clocks strike 12 for
murder at midnight.
The part of Evelyn Corbett was played by Mercedes McCambridge. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
Listen to this item here, Mr. Bradley. Girl in mystery drowning, Pennaquit, Maine. While her sister stood helplessly on the dock, Abigail Thorne, 26, was drowned in the bay here at midnight last night.
What?
According to her sister, Sarah, the older girl was about to board her ship.
The Black Swan.
What? Why, yes, that's the name. How did you know?
How did I know? Because it had to be. It had to be.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in The Black Swan. And now, Murder at Midnight, Tales of Mystery and Terror by radio's Masters of the Macabre. Our story by Leon Meadow is The Black Swan.
It's odd, isn't it? How familiar sounds revive old memories. Listen to the waves against the dock. Yeah, it's 6 years since I, Amos Bradley, last heard this sound. Last stood here in the moonlight, looking out over Pennaquit Bay. And there she rides at anchor, just as she did 6 years ago. A black ship against the sky. 45 feet of black-hulled beauty. The loveliest sloop ever turned out in the main shipyard. 45 feet of unholy black evil. The Black Swan, she was named, but a better name would have been Ship of Death. Yes, she was even launched in blood.
Henderson! Oh, Henderson! See my son anyplace?
Hello, Mr. Thorne. Left Fred on deck. Well, how do you like the Black Swan?
Like her. Fine talk about a ship built by Fred Thorne.
Well, Fred thinks she's the trimmest job he ever turned out.
Trim? A pleasure ship. Well, what are you waiting for? Will you tell Fred I'm here?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll get him just as soon as we check the keel plate. Yeah, we're going to launch her in a few minutes. Stay around and watch her hit the water.
Stay around. Watch. Old, broken down Caleb Thorne. That's all he's good for, anyway. Stay around. Watch.
Hello, Father. How are you?
Stay around. Watch. Watch as good as buried. Built for a girl. Think your sister'll like it?
Abby will be pleased, Father. It's a fine birthday present.
All right, men. He's just about ready. All set here, Fred.
Okay, Henderson. I'm coming down, too. Want to check the clearance. I'll see you in a minute, Dad.
Go on, go on.
All right, over here.
Captain Thorne will stand here and watch. A worthless, peg-legged old man. The sea is the Lord. The sea giveth a man his life and taketh his life. Stand aside, Caleb. What's taking him so long? Seems
Yes, launched in blood. Murderer of Fred Thorne. The Black Swan never left the yard. For months, she lay there on the waves like a stranded whale on a beach. There was talk in town about old Caleb turning strangely on the one thing he was supposed to love, his daughter Abby. But I dismissed it as idle village gossip. Actually, no one knew very much about that family. The Thorns kept to themselves on that little island of theirs. You can just make it out. Yeah, they're beyond the breakwater. And then one day, about 6 months after Fred was killed, I ran into Philip Hazlitt on Main Street.
Hi, Amos. Just the man I want. I'm looking for a first mate.
Yeah, since when?
Well, I had a note from Abby yesterday. She wants me to bring the Black Swan out to the island.
The Black Swan? I thought the old man...
Changed his mind, I guess. No, you never can tell with him.
But, Abby, I mean, after what happened...
Oh, come now. You certainly haven't started believing that old wives stuff.
No, of course not. But the old man swore he'd never look at the ship again.
Search me. Well, anyway, I'm to bring her out Saturday. You want to come?
Yeah. Think I do.
Here, Amos. You take over the wheel. She handles like a dream.
Well, Fred knew how to build them.
Now, watch it. She's trigger light to the touch. Well, maybe this is the turning point. Maybe now Abby will set the date, now that she's put these childish fears behind her.
You've been patient, Philip.
I'd wait forever for Abby Thorne.
How about the old man? You know how he feels about Abby, or how he was supposed to.
You'll just have to learn to like it. Cut her closer to the boy. That's it, Amos.
Right.
Now, a few points. Ah, there we are. There's the dock.
Abby was standing there on the little dock, waiting for us, waving to us as we anchored in the cove and jumped into the dory. A dark-haired, willowy girl. Lovely girl. And next to her was Sarah, Sister Sarah, 14. A smaller, incredibly faithful replica of Abby, except for her eyes. Her piercing, stony blue eyes, which were like Caleb's. Frighteningly like Caleb's. Abby had planned a picnic for us at Arrow Beach on the other side of the island. She and Philip had set out first to get away from Caleb, I suspect. And I was to bring Sarah along later. Well, just as we were about to leave the house, Caleb stopped me. He'd scarcely uttered a word since our arrival.
I want you to see something, Amos.
Oh, all right.
You come too, Sarah, to Fred's room.
All right, Father, only I know what it is.
Yes, Sarah knows. It's our secret. We keep it locked in Fred's room. We waited till Abby was gone. Abby's left us.
Left?
Oh, Father means she's with Philip.
Yeah, Abby's gone. Abby's left us. See, Amos, on the floor there.
Why, it's a tool chest, complete set.
His tools, Fred's. All his tools. His planes and chisels and gouges.
And all the bits and braces and mallets.
All his tools.
Aren't they beautiful, Amos? The way they shine? We keep them shining and clean, just the way Fred always kept them.
It's our secret. Abby doesn't know. Abby's left us. But Fred is back now. See all his tools.
And someday Father's going to take them and put them all in that big chest and bury them out at sea.
That's what Sarah and me planned. Only now I have a better idea.
You didn't tell me, Father. You didn't. Where, Father? Where could there be a better place?
There's a better place, all right. Well, go on. Get to your picnic. There's a better place, all right.
I don't remember much about that picnic, except Abby's unusual quietness, Philip's efforts to keep the conversation alive, and Sarah's strange restlessness. She stared at me constantly, warning me silently with those intense blue eyes, warning me about that secret of Caleb's. Well, I was glad, I know that, when we finally said goodbye late that night, rowed out to the Black Swan, and cast off.
Amos, I don't get it.
Get what?
The ship, the way she's acting. She's not responding. She's sluggish.
Temperamental. Wait till we get out beyond the cove. She feels the wind. Looks stiff out there.
Hey, that's the jib. Came loose from the cleat. I'll go forward. You take the wheel, Amos. I don't like the way she's handling. She's nosing down in this heavy stuff.
Okay.
Hey, the wind shifted. Bring her about.
I know. I'm trying. She won't take it.
Pull her over. All the way. Quick.
I got her over as far as she'll go. You better get the mainsail down. Push. Hey, watch it, the man. Philip. Yes, he was gone. Swept overboard by the backlash of a splintered mast. Lost in the darkness. Philip Hazlitt, second victim for the Black Swan. Somehow, I managed to get the Swan back. And shortly afterward, I left Pennicut to work in Boston for my uncle's engineering firm. I heard nothing from or about the Thorns for a year when I received a short, formal note from Abby. Her father had passed away peacefully in his sleep. Well, I would have been less surprised had Caleb's death been more violent, had the Black Swan somehow been involved. And then, once more, Pennicut and the Thorns receded into the past. 3, 4, 5 years slipped by uneventfully before the Black Swan again revived my half-forgotten fears. I had just returned from a conference to find Miss Brewster, my assistant, standing at my desk, glancing at the evening newspaper. She looked up as I entered the office.
You're from Pennicut, Maine, aren't you, Mr. Bradley?
Yeah, what about Pennicut?
Well, this little item here. Possibly you know the girl. Sounds positively spooky. Listen. Girl in mystery drowning, Pennicut, Maine. While her sister stood helplessly on the town dock, Abigail Thorne, 26, was drowned in the bay here at midnight last night. What? According to her sister, Sarah, 20, the older girl was just about to board her ship.
The Black Swan.
What? Oh, yes. That is the name. The Black Swan. How did you know?
How did I know? It had to be. It had to be.
The dark of night, and a ship with a past that is just as dark. What would you expect of a ship that was launched in blood, but murder at midnight? And now back to Murder at Midnight and the Black Swan. Who has the ship of death singled out for its next victim? Listen as Amos tries to find the answer.
So you didn't think a ship could be a murderer? First, Fred Thorne, who built the Black Swan for his sister Abby. Then Philip Hazlitt, who loved that sister, Abby. And then Abby. Lovely, dark-haired Abby herself. And who's to be next? Well, that's why I'm here now. Why I've come back after all these years to Pennicut Bay. I'm going to find out tonight. Yeah, I know. It's late and dark. Care to come? No? Can't say I blame you. What's that? May storm a bit later. Well, fine. That suits me just fine. I'm going out there, see? Sailor myself. And before this night is done, I am going to know the answer. pretty good shape after all this time. Somebody must be taking care of her.
Somebody is, Amos. Very good care of her.
Abby!
That surprises you, Abby coming back here.
It can't be.
Do you need a flashlight to reassure you? Wouldn't Abby's ghost be more companionable in this pale, thin moonlight?
It's you, Sarah. Little Sarah. For a moment,
You thought I was Abigail. Yes, Amos, you were the one who always said I was the image of her. I am. A pale image. A reflection without substance. Come over here and sit down, Amos. After all, we have a lot to talk about. You want to know, don't you? You came back to find out about Abby.
The Black Swan?
Yes, Amos. But the paper didn't say how or why, did it? It didn't tell about the fights we had, Abby and I, after Father died. The bitter fights we had about the Black Swan. Until one day, a few months ago it was. Well, why not, Abby? Why not sell her? What's so precious about that horrible ship? I won't, that's all. I won't. Hasn't she caused enough grief? Let her rot to pieces in the harbor. I won't sell. You're afraid, aren't you? Afraid she might kill someone else. Yes. Yes, I'm afraid. Then make sure she never has another chance. Sure? How? Destroy her. In the harbor. Destroy her? Yes, Sarah. Yes, why not? Leave some gasoline at the house. We could burn her in the harbor. Tonight.
And that's what you were going to do that night.
Yes, Amos. We put 2 cans of gasoline in the dory and rowed out to the Black Swan.
But it said in the paper you were standing on the dock.
I was. We were about halfway out when suddenly a strange feeling of terror swept over me. Put back, Abby! Put back! Not now, Sarah. No, this is the way it must be. No, I tell you, no, I don't trust that ship. You won't ever have to again. I can't, Abby. I can't. Take me back. Abby, please, or I'll jump overboard and swim back. All right. I'll put you ashore. And then I'll come back. And I'll do it alone.
I see.
See what? Do you see me standing there watching the dory in that choppy swell? Do you see me standing there watching Abby get to her feet, a gasoline can in one hand? Do you see it happening swiftly, without warning? The Black Swan rolling violently, swamping the dory. Do you see Abby pitching forward, her head striking the black hole? Do you see her plunge backwards, her knees catching the gunnel, her body snapping like a broken oar? Her head beneath the water. When I got there, she was dead.
The Black Swan again.
Yes, the Black Swan. And we're the only 2 left who care.
And we'd come back to find out.
Amos, who loved my sister in silence. And Sarah.
And Sarah, who?
I might have told you once. But you went away like the others.
I've come back, Sarah.
Yes. Because there's no rest for you either. No rest until we know. Look to the anchor, Amos. It's time we did know.
My friend at the dock was right. It's going to storm.
Yes, I think so. And we haven't learned anything. She's handling like any other ship.
Only better. It's Fred built her to handle.
She's biding her time, that's all.
What are you thinking?
Do you remember the picnic that day?
Yes, sir.
That night, after you and Philip had left, I went to Fred's room. They were gone. His tools, the chest.
Gone? You mean Caleb?
Yes. Father had taken them away while we were picnicking over at Arrow Beach.
Taking them where?
He wouldn't tell me. He said he'd found a better place. He kept saying that over and over, but he would never tell me where. Poor Father.
Yes, sir.
He changed so after Philip was killed.
How?
Well, it goes back to Fred, my brother Fred. Don't you see, Father commissioned Fred to build the Black Swan as a birthday present for Abby. was one of the ways he thought he could, well, buy Abby away from Philip.
And Fred was the first victim of the Black Swan.
Yes. Then, Philip. And the more Father tried, the worse it became. Abby wouldn't talk to him, not a word.
In death, Philip took Abby further away from your father than he could possibly have done in life.
Philip's death? No, Amos. Philip's murderer did that. The Black Swan.
We'd better put about and head back, Sarah. I don't like the way she's blowing up.
And I don't care, Amos. I feel so different now about everything.
Now that the Swan is behaving herself?
Yes.
Well, maybe so, but the weather isn't. Now that you've promised to come back to Boston with me and to leave all this behind you, I'm not taking any chance.
Anywhere you say, Amos, anywhere. Because now I'm free. See how she's riding the storm. It's as if she were free, too.
Any sign of that breakwater yet?
I should catch it in the next lightning. It's somewhere off port. I know it is. It can't be far now.
Keep your eye peeled.
I am. There, Amos. It is. It's...
What did you say?
Off port now. Hold her till I tell you, then cut in. I think we can make it on one run.
Okay, say when.
All set?
All set.
No! Swing her in now, Amos.
I am. I'm trying. Give me it everything
No, Amos, quicker. We'll hit the rocks on the other side of the entrance.
She won't go over.
Put her about then, quick.
She won't. She's not answering the helm. She's gone dead the way she did the night Philip.
Abby, it's my fault.
It's all right. It's all right,
Abby,
Sarah.
I made you.
You're safe. It's all over.
Oh, Amos. Amos, the ship.
Finished, dear. All finished. Can you sit up? Here, take my hand. Look, Sarah. I want to show you something. Over there. Can you see?
See? See what? You mean the shining...
Yes, Sarah. It's half submerged.
Why, there... No. No, they can't be.
They are. They're his tools. Fred's tool chest and everything.
Father. Father did it.
When Caleb said he knew a better place, he meant in the ship.
Oh, Father. Father.
Yes, he took the chest and nailed it up under the deck, up at the bow. That's why the Black Swan acted so strangely the night Philip and I left the island.
But, Amos, tonight she was acting so beautifully until...
I know. That's because somehow all these years she's been rocking there in the harbor. The chest worked itself loose, just loose enough so it would shift with the ship's motion.
But then, I mean, what happened when we tried to bring her in tonight?
Well, my guess is that the chest suddenly got itself wedged in tight in one place, off center. That's why she wouldn't answer the helm.
Fred's chest. Yes, Amos. Yes, that's why she rolled so badly the night Abby and I...
Don't, Sarah. It's all over now.
Yes, it is over now, isn't it? It was almost over for us. And then no one would have known.
We know now, Sarah. Yes, the Black Swan has been brought to justice. And by her own hand.
A wild, strange family. And a ship that was launched in blood. With such a setting, it's no wonder that what was meant as a tribute and an act of love turned into murder at midnight. remember to be with us again when death comes in with the rising tide and the clocks strike 12 for Murder at Midnight. Our storyteller, Amos Bradley, was played by Lawson Zerby. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader. Murder at Midnight.
You're lying, Donner. You know you're lying. And you know it won't do you any good. Because this time I'm going to pass judgment. Myself. 15 years. I've been thinking about this. Dreaming about it. My fingers around your throat. Digging into that flabby windpipe of yours. Tighter and tighter. Till you stop struggling and... Yes. And now, I've got a nice grave all ready and waiting for you. Right next to your friend.
Murder at Midnight. 3 graves yawning on a lonely, fog-bound island, waiting. For whom? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in tonight's story, The Island of the Dead. And now our story, The Island of the Dead, an original radio play by one of radio's best-known mystery writers, Robert Newman. A story of a dead man who came back. It's a small island, flat and barren, lying in the middle of the river. And it's truly an island of the dead. For it's the city's Potter's Field. It's here that the nameless dead are buried. Those who have no relatives to claim them, and those who are too poor to pay for burial elsewhere. At one end of the island is the pier, where the city launch docks. At the other end of the island, in the midst of the shallow graves, is the squat stone building where the watchman lives. It's 11:30 at night now. He's sitting in the office, reading a paper and listening to the river sounds when...
Who's there? Who's that? I said, who's there? Who the devil are you? What do you want?
I think that this is where I'm supposed to come.
What do you mean? Hey, wait a minute. Are you the new relief man?
My name is Simon.
I'm Halliday. From now on, lay off that stuff, will you? This place is bad enough without you spooking around, not answering when someone talks to you.
Bad?
The crying bells, you know what the job is, don't you? Receiving the stiffs that they send out, keeping the records and digging the graves. You'd be all alone, except for Joe, the guy that runs the launch up at the other end of the island. He only comes out when he has to.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'll go change me shirt and blow. I didn't think they were going to be able to get a relief man until next week. I'm sure glad you got out here tonight. This place was really starting to get me down. And I'll be out in a couple of minutes. Simon, where are you?
Over here.
I didn't know where the blazer had gone. Simon. What in thunder are you doing?
Digging. Digging some graves.
I see that. 3 of them. What for?
Because they'll be needed before the night is over.
Huh? You mean they called up and told you to get them ready? It's funny. I didn't hear the phone.
No. No one phoned.
Well, then why are you doing it?
I told you. I think they'll be needed.
You think? Look, I'm going right now. I'll be back tomorrow night. Unless I decide not to come back at all.
Wait a minute, Harry. I don't get it. Who are you talking about? And when did I see him?
The new relief man. Just came out about a half hour ago. You must have seen him. This is the only way you can get out to the island.
That's why I don't get it. If anybody did come out to the island, I'd be bound to see him. But no one did. Not tonight.
What? What do you mean?
I mean, I only made one trip out tonight. I didn't have no passengers. At least not live ones. All I brought out was a stiff.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes, speaking.
Is this Mr. Alec Marsh, the attorney?
Attorney? Well, I used to be one. I haven't practiced law in over 10 years. Who's this?
This is the watchman at the city cemetery out on Channel Island. I'd appreciate it very much if you'd come out here immediately.
Come out there? In the middle of the night? What for?
To identify a body.
To what? What makes you think that I can identify it?
I have reason to believe that you are one of the few people who can identify it. It's quite urgent. If you take the launch at River Street, I'll meet you at this end. Will you do it?
Well, I don't know. It's a funny business, but... Well, all right. I'll leave right away.
Is it much further to the island?
Nope. You can't see it because of the fog, but it's just right ahead there.
Is this something new? Getting people to go out to the island to identify bodies? Don't they usually do it down at the morgue?
Yeah, mostly, but once in a while I get some dope after the body's been shipped out to the island.
Well, I don't like it, any part of it. Getting a man out in the middle of the night. This trip, especially with a river like this, not being able to see anything. Just the whistles and the foghorns. And then landing there on the island where... Oh, for 2 cents, I'd go right back with you. Not go ashore at all.
Well, here we are. Just let me make a fast. Okay. Well, you getting off?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. The man that phoned said he'd meet me. I'll go up to the end of the dock. If he's not there, I'll come back.
Okay.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes? Was it you who phoned me?
Yes. Will you follow me, please? This way.
How the dickens can you see where you're going when it's so dark?
You get used to it. Just as you get used to anything. As a matter of fact, it's probably just as well it is so dark.
Why? It couldn't be worse even in daylight, when you can see the graves. But how did you happen to call me on this business anyway?
I told you. Because you're one of the very few people who can be of any help. Weren't you the attorney for the defense in the Sloan case?
Sloan? Sloan? I can't remember. Simon Sloan.
Yes.
I'm not sure. If I was, it was a long time ago.
More than 15 years. But you should remember.
Yes, I think I was. He was convicted on a charge of murder in the second degree and got 20 years. With time off for good behavior, he's probably out now and... Wait a minute. Is that who you want me to identify? Is he dead?
Here we are. Watch the step going in.
Well, what are you waiting for? Aren't you going to put on the light?
No, not yet.
What was that? The door. You locked the door. What's the idea? What are you trying to do?
That's just so we won't be disturbed.
Disturbed? Well, who's going to disturb us? I insist you put on the light. Open that door immediately.
We were talking about the Sloan case. You admitted that you were the attorney for the defense. Do you feel that you did a good job of defending him?
How do I know? How do you expect me to remember? The fact that he was convicted doesn't mean that it was my fault. Besides, what's that got to do with you?
Did you think that he was guilty?
How do I know what I thought? What difference does it make? He pleaded guilty.
He wasn't guilty. He didn't want to plead guilty. Who made him change his plea?
I did, so what?
Very well. There.
Where it... You. It's you. You're Simon Sloan.
The dead man on the island of the dead. 3 waiting graves. As the clock moves steadily towards the witching hour, prepare yourself for murder at midnight. Now, to go on with the story of the island of the dead. It's just a moment later. There is silence in the small, bare room as Marsh stares at the strange figure that stands opposite him. Then slowly, his face pale and drawn, he sinks into a chair.
You shouldn't have done this to me. I told you I'm not well. I've got a bad heart.
Why did you do what you did to me? Why did you make me change my plea to guilty?
I had to.
Why?
Because Donna, the district attorney, made me. He wanted the conviction to build up his record, and he had something on me, an attempted bribery in another case. What are you going to do to me? I've got to get away from here. I'm a sick man, I tell you.
I'm not going to do anything to you. You can go now, if you can. There. The door's open.
Why are you looking at me like that? You think I can't make it, don't you? And that's why you're letting me go. Well, I'll show you. I just have to take it easy and...
No, I didn't think you would make it. That is why I'm not angry at you. Now I have a place for you. Right outside here. For you and for some others, too. Mr. Donner?
Yes, who's this?
This is the watchman at the city cemetery out on Channel Island. We have a body out here that we'd very much like you to look at.
A body? What for?
We think that possibly you may be able to identify it.
And what makes you think that?
Well, after all, you were district attorney for several years.
What? Why, I haven't been DA for... that got to do with it?
It may have a great deal to do with it. Will you come? The launch leaves from the foot of River Street.
Yes, I know. Something very strange about this, but all right, I'll come. Will there be someone to meet me at the other end?
Yes, Mr. Donner. I'll meet you. I'll be waiting for you.
Is it usual to have someone try and identify a body when it's already in a grave?
Oh, no, it's very unusual. But this was a rather special case. I'm sorry I haven't any flashlight, but I do have a candle. There.
Good Lord.
Then you do know him?
Yes, I know him. His name is Marsh, Alec Marsh. He was disbarred about 10 years ago. When did he die?
About an hour ago.
But that's impossible. He couldn't have gotten here so quickly.
Not if he was dead. But when he came here, he was still alive.
I don't understand. Why should he have come out here in the first place?
Oh, because I phoned him. I asked him to come out. Just as I asked you to come out. You see, I wanted to talk to him about this Simon Sloan case.
The Sloan case? But what? How? Wait a minute. Lift that candle up. You're Sloan.
Yes, Donner. I'm Sloan. What's left of him after 15 years in jail. And you're the man who sent me there when you knew I wasn't guilty.
You can't blame me for that. After all, it was my job to prosecute. And when I did find out the truth...
You did find it out, eh?
When I did, it was too late. You'd already been convicted and sent up, and I've got to get away from here. Let me go.
No, Donner. Not yet. There are a few more things you're going to tell me first. How did you find out I wasn't guilty?
The detective in the case told me. A chap named Richards. Bill Richards.
Richards? Yes, it would be Richards. But afterwards, when you found out the truth, you could have ordered a new trial and gotten me out. But you didn't. You let me stay there and rot.
No, I couldn't. It was just Richards' word. He said he wouldn't testify.
You're lying, Donner. You know you're lying. And you know it won't do you any good. Because this time I'm going to pass judgment. Myself. 15 years. I've been thinking about this. Dreaming about it. My fingers around your throat. Digging into that flabby windpipe of yours. Tighter. And tighter. Until you stop struggling and... Yes. Now I've got a nice grave. All ready and waiting for you. Over here, right next to Marsh. And one more. For our friend, Richard.
Shall we get out?
Yes. Now, you wait right here for us, Joe. I'll see it as it's you, Harry, I will. Be sure I've had my belly full. What a night.
Well, look who's talking. Me, I've got to go traipsing all over this bloody island just because your friend here comes into the station house with a story nobody will believe except the captain.
For crying bells, Richards. You think I made it up? What about those two other guys Joe said he brought out here? What about those 3 graves this guy Simon was digging?
Well, where are they? Did you dream them up, too?
I didn't dream anything up, Richards. They're right over here.
They do look like graves. I got a match here someplace. Let's take a look at them. Good.
Good Lord. There's a body in this one. And in this one here, too.
I see them. This one here looks like... What is Marsh? Alec Marsh. And that's John Donner.
Well, now am I crazy? Now was I making things up?
Shut up. This guy that came out here. You said his name was Simon?
Yes.
Was he, let's see. He must be about 50, 55 now. probably looks older. Tall, thin face, gray hair.
That's right. That's him. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him. Look, I was ribbing you before, but that man's dangerous. Killer. I'm going to stay here and try and find him. But I'll probably need help. You and Joe take the launch back to shore, get hold of the captain. I'm having to send out 3 or 4 more men. Fast.
Okay, Richards, right away.
Sloan! Sloan! Where are you? I know it's you. And you know you can't get away. That building. Went in there, huh? Wonder if he's got a gun. Yeah, soon see. Stick him up, Sloan. I'll let you have it. Reach, did you hear me?
Yes, Richard. I hear you.
Put on the light.
There isn't any light in here. But I got a candle. Just a second.
So, it really is you. I heard you were out astern. I was sure it was as soon as I saw Marsh and Donner out there. You killed them, didn't you?
Yes, I killed him.
This is really funny. I'd like to hear someone now say there isn't such a thing as fate.
Yes, it is funny. I tried to get you on the phone just the way I did Marsh and Donner. But of course I couldn't. Then you come out here on your own.
You thought you'd get me too, huh? Well, that's okay. I tried to get you. And I would have if that jury hadn't gone so panty-waist and given you just 20 years. You know that it was me that framed you, don't you?
Yes, I know it. I just don't know why.
Why? Because I've always hated you, that's why. I was just a flatfoot and you were a gambler, pulling in big dough. I never could touch you on the level. That's why I hated you. That's why I framed you. Well, I didn't get you then 15 years ago. But I've got you now.
Have you, Richard? I guess maybe you ought to look around. See where we are.
What do you mean?
We're in the room where they keep the stiffs until they're buried. Kind of an icebox. And if you'll notice, there's no handle on this side of the door. That means there's no way of getting out.
What? Why, you... So what? Someone will be along sooner or later.
Oh, when anyone does, it'll be too late. Because that door is airtight. That means that as soon as we use up the air that's in here now, we're finished. Both of us. And it's starting to get bad already. Feel it?
I mean, you trapped me. You got me in here deliberately. Well, you won't get away with it.
No good, Richards. That won't hurt me. Not any more than I'm hurt already. You see, I'm all gone inside. That's why they released me. I must have passed out in the street last night, and my heart was so bad that they thought I was dead. They sent me out here for burial. But I wasn't dead. I couldn't die until I'd evened things up. On the boat, they waited till they put me ashore. Now I've done it. Gotten all 3 of you.
No. No. There must be some way out. The smoke. I can't breathe.
No, Richards. It's getting worse every minute. There's no way out. That candle. That's our lives, see? When that goes out, we're finished. It's starting to flicker. Turn blue already.
Help. Help. Somebody, please.
There's no help, Richards. This is it. There. The candle's gone out. You might just as well lie down and take it quietly like
me. Well, there's just one thing. One little thing. You see, I only dug 3 graves. For there's 3 of you. Now, someone else will have to dig mine.
And so, as 2 gasping bodies drop to the floor, the mission of Simon Sloan is completed. First, Marsh, then Donner, and finally Richards succumb to
Murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when death stalks the wicked, as the clocks strike 12 for
Murder at midnight.
You find this a strange place, don't you? And you're wondering about a lot of things. Who I am, why I brought you here, and what's going to happen to you. Who I am and why you are here are not important, but, yes, I'll be glad to tell you what's going to happen to you. You're going to die. Both of you.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. And now, Murder at Midnight, tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by Robert Newman is The Dark Chamber.
Police headquarters. Ryan speaking.
Hello, police. Listen, you've got to help me. You've got to.
Just
I don't know how
a
you can.
minute. Hold on there. What's your name?
My name's Watson, Joe Watson. I'm a driver for the Ajax Sanitary Hand Laundry, and I've...
Address?
Where I am, you mean? I don't know. That's part of the trouble.
Now, look, buddy.
Now, wait, listen. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Check the laundry. Check the veterans. I'm an ex-GI. They'll tell you I'm straight. Well, I'm in a room someplace. I don't know where it is or how I got here or what I'm here for. I don't even know how long I've been here. It's a big room, but funny. No doors, no windows that I can see. Just a couple of chairs and a table with this phone on it. Walls are gray, rough, like soundproofing, and well, I'm scared.
What do you expect us to do?
Find me, find out what this is all about, and get me out of here.
Well, I don't know.
Listen, this isn't a gag, can't you tell? You don't know what it's like just sitting here waiting, not knowing where or why or what's going to happen. Can't you trace this call or something?
Well, okay. Hang on.
Thank the Lord. I was afraid that... Listen, I hear something. Someone's coming. I better hang up. I'll call you back later if I can.
How do you do?
Who are you?
My name's Helming. Dr. John Helming. And your name?
I don't have to tell you anything.
That's very true. Though I didn't think you were aware of it. I think I already know everything about you that I'm interested in knowing.
Like what?
Name, Joseph Watson. Age, 26. Occupation, employee of the Ajax Laundry. Honorably discharged from the Army 6 months ago with the Bronze Star and Purple Heart.
What? So you went through my pockets, huh? Well, if you know that much, you know I haven't got any dough.
Money? I'm not interested in money.
Well, what do you want, then? Where is this place? The last thing I remember is making a delivery on Spruce Street. Noticing that the lights were out in the hall and hearing a noise behind me. You or somebody slugged me.
That's right.
Well, will you stop grinning like that and tell me what this is all about?
Of course. I brought you here because I need your help in an experiment. An experiment whose details I've already worked out with mice, rats, cats, and other animals.
What kind of an experiment?
An experiment in fear.
Fear?
Yes. You fought in the war and you were wounded. That means you've probably known fear. And still you won the Bronze Star. That means you overcame it. The question is, can you overcome your present fears?
What are you talking about?
You think I have to take your blood pressure, calculate your skin tension and adrenal discharge to tell that you're afraid? Nothing has happened to you yet. Absolutely nothing. And yet you are afraid, aren't you? You're afraid because you're face to face with the unknown. Because you don't know what I want, what I'm planning to do. That is as it should be. And that is the way we will leave it. For the moment.
Hey, wait a minute. Come back here. Come back! You can't... Hello, operator. Get me the police. Hello, police. This is Joe Watson again. Listen, I got a little more dope. I don't know if it'll help, but there was a guy in here just now. Said his name was Helming. John Helming. That's probably a phony. He's about 50, tall, over 6 foot, white hair and gray eyes. No, I still don't know what it's all about. Have you been able to trace this number yet? How long will it take? Okay, I'll hang on, but the lights just went out. The room's pitch dark and someone's coming in again. I better stop. But please, hurry. Who's that? Who just came in?
Who are you?
A girl.
Keep away from me. Keep away, do you hear?
Keep away. What's the angle now?
Angle? Why did you bring me here?
Wait a minute. You mean he put the snatch on you, too?
When I was on my way home. Chloroform or something. And the next thing I knew... Why are you pretending? You're in on it, too. You must be. It's a trap.
It's a trap, all right. But I'm not in on it. I'm in it, along with you. My name's Watson, Joe Watson.
I'm Betty Grant. You swear?
I swear. What would I lie about it for?
I don't know. I don't know anything, but... No, I don't think you're lying.
2 of us now. I wonder why he put you in here, put us together.
Who is he? What's he going to do?
I don't know. He said something about an experiment in fear, but... Listen, we got to get out of here. Somehow, some way.
He may be listening.
Very astute, my dear. Of course I'm listening.
But where are you?
Right here. I've been here all the time.
Who are you?
No, Joe, don't. He must want you to go for him. He's probably got a gun.
Right again, my dear. Not that I'll need it. This is stage 2 of the experiment. A new stimulus to action has been introduced. Man against the unknown has become man and woman against the unknown.
Look, let's get down to brass tacks. Be sensible about this.
Certainly, Joe. That's why I won't need my gun. This new stimulus has been negated by an increased sense of responsibility. Responsibility towards the girl. And therefore by increased fear.
Why, you... Gun or no gun, if I can get my hands on you... Where are you? Where are you?
Outside now, so you can relax. That was the final stimulus in this stage. Injured pride. The discovery that I could read your inmost thoughts. Knew exactly what you were going to do. But you mustn't let that bother you. I already know everything you're going to do. From now on, till the end.
Listen, you. Helming. Helming! Stop.
Joe.
Hold on, baby. Don't let it get you. Must be a way, some way.
Do you suppose he's still listening?
Hard to say. But I'm going to take a chance. There's one thing he didn't figure on. The telephone.
Here?
Yeah. If I can find it again in the dark. Oh, here. Here it is. I put through 2 calls already to the police. Told them what was happening and asked them to get me out of here. Had to hang on both times before they could trace the call to get this number. This time I'm going to...
Hello.
What?
Operator.
No, this isn't the operator. You're on a busy wire.
It doesn't matter. Thank heavens I got somebody. I've been trying for about 10 minutes now.
Look, get off the line, will you? I've got to get through to the police. It's terribly important.
But you've got to help me. You've got to. My name is Ben Lazari. I'm a prisoner someplace. I don't know where.
Oh, what?
It's true. A strange house somewhere. A doctor who says his name is Helming. What are you laughing at?
What is it, Joe? What is it?
I haven't got a clue.
Hello?
Got a guy named... I'm sorry, Ben. It's no use.
What do you mean?
We're in the same boat you are. Girl named Betty Grant and myself. Helming's got us locked up, too.
Locked up?
Yeah. Said he knew everything we were thinking, everything we were going to do. I did get through to the police before, but I guess he caught wise. We're talking to each other over an inside line. Yeah, we're through.
Don't say that, Joe. Don't even think it. Look, ask him exactly where he is.
Just where are you, Ben? Do you know?
Hard to say. I was out cold when he brought me here. It's a kind of a hall or passageway. Cement floor, ceiling. Stone walls. There doesn't seem to be any door or opening or anything like that.
That's what I thought here, too, but there must be one. Or how would he have gotten you in there? Listen, start looking. See if you can find it.
Okay.
Then if the 3 of us can get together, we ought to be able to figure something out.
Hold on. I'll start pounding on the walls. You see if you hear anything.
Go ahead.
What's he doing?
I'm going to knock on the walls to see if he's anywhere near us. If he is, if he can find a door and we can get together... You hear anything?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm not sure either. It sounds awful far away, as if... There, listen. That wall right there. Hello, Ben.
Yes.
We heard you. You're right next to us. Now you listen and Betty will knock back. Go ahead, Betty. That way you'll be able to tell just which wall it is.
Okay.
All right.
I hear it. I know where it is. Now to find a door. There is one. Hold on.
He's got it. He's going to see if there's a door.
There must be one. There must be.
Ben. Hello.
What is it, Joe?
I don't know. I thought I heard something, a yell, and then...
Joe, look. There is a door there. It's opening and... You.
Dr. Helm. Why, yes. Were you expecting someone else?
An experiment in fear. Yes, I think someone else was expected. And still is. But not for a little while yet. Not until the clock strikes 12 for... Murder at midnight. Just a moment later now. Standing in the darkness of the strange room, 2 frightened young people stare at the tall figure of the doctor, silhouetted against the dim light from outside. They catch a fleeting glimpse of a long corridor and of something lying on the floor. Then Helming steps into the room, shutting the door behind them.
I asked whether you were expecting someone else.
Then it was just a trick. It was you on the phone all the time.
No, don't you think I'd know his voice? Where is he?
Our friend, Mr. Lazari, right outside.
What'd you do to him, Anthony? What'd you do to him?
Don't you know?
Sure I know. You killed him. Did you kill him?
Quite a state you've gotten yourself into. Why? Is it because you finally tried to do something about your predicament and failed? Because getting together with Lazari would have been a kind of victory, indicating there was a chance of escaping? Or is it because you weren't sure whether I would kill or not? And because you still don't know?
You're mad. Really mad. I wasn't sure before, but I am now. You're just not normal.
Really? And just what does being normal mean? Doesn't it depend on geography, other factors? In Nazi Germany under Hitler, wasn't it the norm to hate, despise democracy, believe in violence, lies, and murder?
It sure was. But this isn't Germany.
True. And also true that by American standards, you are normal and I am not. And it's because you are normal, with normal reactions and inhibitions, that I brought you here for study. But you will be interested to know you have not done, nor will do, one thing that I did not foresee. Every move you made Every emotion you felt was charted, outlined, and...
What's that?
That, I think, is probably the police.
Police?
Yes. I know that you're very anxious to talk to them, and, well, I'll see that you get a chance to soon. Good evening, officer.
I'm looking for a guy named Helming. Dr. Helming.
Oh, I'm Dr. Helming. Come in, won't you?
Okay, thanks. This is, well, kind of a funny business. It's about a phone call we got a while ago. Finally traced here. From a guy who said he was a prisoner or something, and...
that must have been Watson.
Well, yeah, that was his name, Joe Watson. You know him?
Of course. I can't tell you how sorry I am. It was really very careless of me, and I'll see that it doesn't happen again.
What do you mean?
Well, if you did any investigating, which I'm sure you did, then you know that I don't run a sanitarium exactly, but I do take a few patients, mental cases, for treatment.
Oh, so that's it. A nut, huh?
Oh, I wish you wouldn't say that. The war years have been a great strain on all of us. And there were those who just couldn't take it. Watson, for instance, and my other patient, Betty Grant.
Two of them, huh? What's their trouble?
Well, Watson's case is particularly interesting. A 4F who wasn't able to enlist. He developed a sense of guilt which became too much for him, turned into a persecution mania.
Thinks that everyone is down on him, huh?
Well, not everyone exactly. His present fantasy is that he's an ex-GI, and that I'm keeping him prisoner. You see, since he wasn't able to fight in the war, he's cast me in the role of the enemy, and he's fighting against me.
Any hope for him?
Definitely. Miss Grant's problems, however, are more complex. But the interesting thing is that when she's with him, she takes over his delusion and shares it with him.
Sure sounds plenty tough. Well, I guess I'll run along. I'm sorry I bothered you.
Well, don't you want to see them first, officer, and talk to them?
Oh, there's no need of that, Doctor. We get calls from cranks every day. We always investigate, of course.
But I insist. After all, you only have my word for it. However, there is just one thing I'd like to caution you about.
I know. You want me to play along with them.
Right.
Oh, don't worry. I'll humor them.
Splendid. Right in here.
Oh, quite a room.
Air-conditioned. Much better than having windows with bars on them.
Joe, look.
It is a cop. And that means that... And you did get my message.
Sure, Joe. Took a little time to trace the call, but everything is okay now.
Oh, thank heaven. Such a screwy story. I was afraid that... Wait a minute. Why is he standing there like that? Why haven't you got the bracelets on him?
Dr. Helming? Oh, no need for any rough stuff. He said he'd come along quietly.
What? But
You're lying. I don't know why, but there's something wrong here. You think we made the whole thing up, that we're crazy.
Oh, now.
It's true. He told you we were, and you believed him. Good Lord, haven't you got eyes in your head? Would two of us be crazy in just the same way?
Well, of course not, and I'm telling you...
Stop it, will you? Stop talking like that. If I could only prove it to you somehow, show you. I know. Lazari.
Joe.
Murder. That'll open your eyes. Somewhere in that wall there, a door. Make him open it. Show you what's behind it.
I think maybe I'd better be going, Doc.
But there is the door, officer. Just a second, and I'll open it for you. Here we are.
Joe, the body, it's gone.
These doctors, they're always hiding the bodies. If it turns up again later, give us another ring. Hey, can I go out this way, Doc?
Down to the end of the corridor, then to your right.
I'm sorry I gave you all this trouble.
Well, perfectly all right, and thank you for being so understanding. Goodbye.
So long.
Well, children?
Don't look that way, Joe, don't. I know what you're thinking, and it's not true. We're not crazy. There was a body there.
Of course.
You hid it when you went out to let the cop in. And the telephone, you left that there purposely. You wanted me to use it to get the police here.
Obviously. I told you that this was to be an experiment in fear. What I didn't tell you was that, in a sense, I was one of the subjects, too. It was important for me to learn how I would function under pressure. And speaking objectively, I think I did rather well, don't you?
But why? Why are you doing all this? What are you after?
Well, there's no reason why I shouldn't tell you. If anyone truly understands the nature of fear, is able accurately to forecast the actions and reactions of an individual, Then he can use fear as a weapon. For society will react as the individual reacts. You see, society doesn't want to believe that anything can menace it. Doesn't want to take action to protect itself any more than the individual does. This was something that Hitler and Mussolini understood intuitively. I understand it scientifically. They failed, but I shall succeed.
You mean that you...
I'm afraid that's all I have time for. As far as you two are concerned, the experiment is finished. Completely finished. I have a few arrangements to take care of, and then, well, make the most of these last few minutes, for they will be your last.
Joe, do you hear anything? Is he coming back?
Not yet.
He's going to kill us, isn't he? Just the way he killed Lazari.
He's going to try to.
Why are you sitting there like that, looking at me?
I guess because it's the first chance I've had to look at you.
How do you mean?
Well, when he first put you in here, it was all dark. And so many things happened after that. It's funny.
What is?
The things that you can tell about a person even in the dark. I kind of thought you were little. I knew you were awful nice and had a lot of nerve, but I didn't think you'd be so pretty.
I'm not so pretty, Joe. And I'm not very brave either. I'm scared. I'm awful scared. I don't want to die.
Don't worry about it, baby. Don't think about it.
But just sitting here like this, waiting. There's nothing we can do. Every time we did try to do something, it was something he knew about, was expecting us to do.
Please, baby.
Joe, something's happened to you. You were scared before, too. But now...
This is going to sound kind of funny, especially now, but... Well, do you have anyone special? A fella, I mean, that...
Why, no, Joe. At least, not exactly.
Well, that's swell. I mean, well, gee, it's a shame we never met before. If we had, we wouldn't be here now. I mean, well, we probably would have been out together someplace and... Say, what time do you get through work usually?
About 6. The store closes at 5:30, but...
Me too. I could have picked you up about 6 and...
Joe, you still haven't told me what you're going to do.
What's the difference? Just as long as somebody does something.
But, Joe, I hear something. He's coming.
Yeah, okay, get up. Open that corner of the room so he'll see you as soon as he opens the door.
But what about you? What?
I'll be waiting over here, behind the door.
But, Joe...
I know I haven't got much of a chance, but I wish me luck.
Joe, no, please, you...
All right, my young friends. Time. All my arrangements have been completed, and... Where's Watson?
Right here.
What are you doing?
What? Joe, look how he's...
that. It's okay, baby. He didn't get me. I had the barrel of the gun and... Good Lord, it got him in the chest.
But you couldn't have done that. You couldn't have.
Outside, Betty. See if you can find another phone.
All right.
Call the police again. And this time, tell them to bring an ambulance.
All right.
But you couldn't have done it, I tell you. It was all plotted, craft, worked out in detail. I knew just what you were going to do, how you would react. By this time, you ought to be in a state of complete frustration, resigned, ready to die. Why did you do it? Why?
I don't know. Now just take it easy and...
But I've got to know. You've got to tell me. Was it because of the girl? Out of desperation? Because you knew you were to die anyway?
I tell you, I don't know. I just know that... Well, a guy will take just so much pushing around.
Lying there, Dr. Helming stares uncomprehendingly at the young man who bends over him. Then suddenly, a look of fear comes over his face. And even as he tries to draw away, his eyes glaze. And he, too, passes into a dark chamber. A haunted room which has no exit. As the clock strikes 12 for...
Murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when a door that is no door opens and the clocks strike 12 for...
Murder at midnight.
Watson was played by Bill Quinn. Dr. Helming was Harold Young. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
At midnight.
Mitchell, would you like to stop for a hamburger?
Boom. He said it was made of iron. The spindle didn't reach it.
What's that? What did you say?
Boom. It's alive. Boom. His heart, can't you hear it? His heart is still beating.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in Death is No End. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by A.S. Guinness is Death is No End.
Check. May 31st next.
May 31st, deposits $9,840.74.
9842.74.
Withdrawals $6,302.16. Mitchell.
1 moment, dear. 6302.16. Check. Let's not stop, fellas. It's almost midnight now. We've still June to tally. Let's plow right ahead, huh, dear?
Yes, sir. June 1st, deposits $15,972.38. We stood there in the dim, deserted bank. Two middle-aged clerks checking other people's money. Behind us loomed the wire cages, two of them with their doors flung open. Mitchell and Phyllis Bagley, respectable employees. Mitchell and Bagley, new kind of animal, confined to their cages by day and let out at night. Perhaps all women take stock when they reach 40. Perhaps they all experience the thing I'm going through at this moment. A kind of clear, cold reality. Mitchell must have sensed the sudden surge of bitter hate.
Phyllis, dear, what is it? One of your headaches?
Nothing, Mitchell. Let's plow right ahead.
Oh, you just wait, dear. When we leave the bank tomorrow evening and hop into our little car, 2 whole weeks in the Wisconsin woods alone together. Won't that be wonderful?
Yes, Mitchell. Now, June 15th.
Yes. Let's plow right ahead.
Like obedient oxen.
June 15th?
Deposit $7,000 for...
What was that?
I don't know.
Hey, who put that box in my way? What's that light over there?
Oh, it's only old Mike Hassler.
Drunk.
Who's there? Huh? Answer me or I'll plug you.
Oh, take it easy, Mike. It's Phyllis and I.
Who? Oh, the Bagleys. The good old Bagleys. Hard workers.
Now, Mike, you'd better sleep it off. We'll be here another half hour.
Night watchman, drunk.
You don't like me, do you, Mrs. Bagley? Well, I ain't drunk. Just a little tonic. You need a little tonic every night. A little tonic, eh, Miss old boy?
You're an old drunk.
Phyllis.
And that tonic will kill you.
Phyllis.
That's all right, Mitchell. Women are all like that. Tonic, kill me. Mitchell.
Yes?
How old do you think I am?
70, Mike. Now, go over.
70? That's what you think. Why, I won't tell you. Nope, you'll never guess. The doctor says he never saw a ticker like mine. Made of iron. Nothing can kill this old heart of mine.
Nothing but liquor.
Eh? Makes it stronger. Here. Just listen to this old ticker, Mrs. Bagley. Hear it? Boom, boom, boom.
Get him away from her. Come on now, Mike.
Boom, boom. A little tonic every night. Boom, boom, boom.
Phyllis, help me. He's passing out.
Nothing will kill us. Oh, boom, boom.
Oh, dear.
All of a sudden, it was clear. This night, the old drunken watchman. Everything was clear. I was 40 and my last chance had come.
There. Poor old man. He'll sleep it off. In the president's office.
Mitchell, he drink like this every night on duty?
Mike? Oh, it's nothing. All the men in the bank know about it, except the boss. Last 10 years, old Mike has been hopping out for a half hour every night that way. To Gil's place around the corner.
Mitchell, I'm leaving you. I'm tired of this life, earning nothing a week, always counting the money other men have made for their women. I'm leaving you, Mitchell.
Phyllis!
From now on in, I knew every step of the way. Maybe I'd been mapping this out unconsciously for years. But now I was in the driver's seat.
Phyllis, darling, dearest, why? I know we don't earn much, but...
Much? $80 a week together.
Tell me how to make more, Phyllis. Please, tell me anything so long as you'll stay with me.
Tell me anything, Phyllis. I did.
Phyllis, do you realize what you're saying? Phyllis.
Take it or leave it, Mitchell.
Off the bank?
As easy as making a withdrawal, Mitchell. Now, listen. We leave as planned for our vacation tomorrow after work. We come back here at 11:30 at night when that old fool Mike is out drinking. We'll be gone before he returns with $250,000 to hide in the Wisconsin woods. It's foolproof, Mitchell. And it's the only thing that'll keep me with you. Well?
Well, Phyllis, I want you. I need you so much, Phyllis. But I'm afraid.
I knew I had him. The void in him was growing bigger. And I alone could fill it.
Well, Phyllis, you lucky girl. Now make good use of these next 2 weeks. Put the roses back in your cheeks.
Well, thank you, Mr. Whalen. I didn't know you cared.
And you, Mitchell, forget the bank.
Yes, sir. You're sure that...
Oh, positive, Mitchell. I give you permission to forget the bank. Phyllis, you know what this old workhorse of yours asked me earlier today?
No, what?
He said, Mr. Whalen, if you can't spare me, I'll be willing to cancel my vacation.
Mitchell's panic was rising as the hour drew close. I'd expected that. I knew that once up in the Wisconsin woods, I could calm his fears. 11:25 at night. We were a block away from the bank. At 11:30, we saw the old watchman leave by the back entrance. 1 minute later, we were parked in the alley beside the bank. And at work, disconnecting the burglar alarm on the big safe.
It's all right now, Phyllis. The alarm's off.
Starting at 6.
What time is it?
Stop worrying about the time. We've got 20 minutes before he returns.
20 to 12. There it is. Phyllis, it's all yours.
Oh.
Please, Phyllis, take it. What was that? What time is it, Phyllis?
Control yourself. It's not 12 yet. I don't understand. He came back.
Tell me what to do, Phyllis. Quick, Phyllis.
Act like we're checking our books.
All right.
He's drunk. He won't remember anything. He didn't remember last night's business when he said goodbye to us this afternoon. Come on, stand.
Yes. Where's the adding machine?
Right behind you.
Oh.
That.
The hard-working Bagleys, Mike.
Oh, they really keep you busy, don't they?
Oh, yes.
What do you think of the crust of that guy, Gil?
Gil?
10 years have been going there, and just because I'm out of cash... Say, aren't you two supposed to be going on your vacation?
Vacation? Why,
Now, that's safe. It's open. Hey, what goes on here?
Nothing, Mike, nothing.
Put up your hands, both of you.
Now, Mike.
I'm taking no chances.
Mike, you're acting silly.
Stand back, Mrs. Bagley.
You've known us for a long time, Mike.
Well...
We wouldn't do anything wrong. Nothing except...
Oh, Phyllis. You stabbed me.
Phyllis.
You can't kill me. You can't. Where's my gun? Stop. Stop. The spindle. Die. You missed my heart. You missed it. My heart. My heart. Phyllis.
Stop it, Mitchell. Go on up to the car. The burlap bag in the trunk. I'll clean this place up. We'll take his body to Wisconsin with us. Mitchell's terror grew stronger as the night passed. I had to drive. The incident with the night watchman had destroyed what little courage he had. We were about an hour away from the woods when he had his worst attack.
What's that?
What's what? What's the matter, Mitchell?
He said we couldn't kill it. He said we couldn't kill it. Hassler said we couldn't kill it.
Mitchell, would you like to stop for a hamburger?
Boom. Made of iron, Mike said the spindle didn't reach it. It's still beating back there, still beating.
Mitchell, what's wrong?
Nothing. Where are you going?
I thought I heard some of the tools rattling in the trunk. As long as we stopped, I'll take a look.
No, don't. Phyllis, he's alive! Can't you hear it? It's still beating!
Stop your hollering! You're talking about Hassler. He's dead. And we're going on. When I got back into the car, Mitchell was unconscious. Fainted. I let him sleep while I drove north. I had some thinking to do. You can hide money any place. Not a body. Somehow I had to find a guide who would take us into the back country. A guide who wouldn't be coming back.
A dead man in the trunk, and a woman driving into the wilderness in the night, already thinking of her next victim. Murder has its own laws of progression, especially when it's murder at midnight. And now back to Murder at Midnight and Death is No End. In the depth of night, Phyllis Bagley drives towards the Wisconsin woods with her grim cargo.
As the car crawled over the dirt roads, I kept staring through the windshield, watching for a lighted shack. Here in Indian Territory at 5 a.m, I had to locate a guide to lead us into the woods.
I see a light, Phyllis.
Light where?
Through the trees up ahead. Turn off the headlights.
It's like a lantern or a flashlight coming this way.
It's an Indian.
Hello.
Hello?
You lost?
Yes, we arrived a little later than we expected, not sure of the way.
No good without guide. Fishing?
Yes, but we're different. We'd like a place where nobody else goes.
Once I best guide up here. Now I old man. Too bad.
Oh, you don't look old at all. I'll bet you're still the best guide in this territory.
You very kind lady. How old you think I am?
Not more than 60, I'd say.
I don't tell you. Nobody know. I got secret.
Really?
How to keep heart young. I tell you what. You so nice lady to me. I be your guide. You like?
Well, that would be wonderful, but...
We go now.
Well, are you all prepared?
I always ready, lady. Sleep blanket on back. Ears, eyes in head. I prepared. I come in my sheep.
Open the door, Mitchell. Mitchell.
No, not again. Not again.
My husband doesn't feel well. That's why we're up here.
Oh, maybe I help him. Maybe I tell him secret of strong heart.
Spot the Indian took us to was ideal. Impossible to find unless you'd been there. And it had a fast-flowing deep stream close by. Deep enough and fast enough to swallow two bodies forever. Mitchell, go help him unload stuff in the car. I'll set the tent up.
I'm not going near him.
What's wrong with you? We're safe now.
No, we're not.
Safe except for you.
Safe except for that Indian. Where did he come from out of the woods in the middle of the night, eager to lead us back into the woods without even going home? Why? Why did he talk about his heart like that?
Mitchell, you'll stop that kind of drivel or else you'll never be...
Murder. It's swift, ruthless murder. The cold kind.
What's that?
Mike Phyllis' widow from her hospital bed keeps sending out the same pitiful cry.
It's the
Why
car
did they
radio,
do
of
this?
course.
Why?
You must have left it on.
Police, meanwhile, lean to the theory that Mike Hassler robbed the bank and disappeared. They claim as proof that the old man was irresponsible and heavily in debt. The bank management has ordered all its employees on vacation to report back to work immediately.
Why did you turn the radio on?
Me? Please, lady. Why me?
Well, you were the only one near the car.
Why, I should.
Why should he indeed? And even if he did, it was an innocent favor. Oh, the police believe Mike Hassler robbed the bank and vanished. This is an angle I hadn't even thought of. And the bank was calling us all home. Well, in a way, I was glad. I don't think I could have tolerated Mitchell alone much longer. I look forward to the night like a caged animal to freedom. Mitchell.
What is it?
Come out of the tent. It's time.
What time is it?
It's almost midnight.
Phyllis, please, anything but...
Mitchell, we've gone over this before. This job is yours. You're in this as far as I am.
But
He's sound asleep under that tree. Here's the gun. Mitchell shook like a man with fever. Every step closer to the Indian seemed to weigh him down further. I was determined that as long as we were involved in murder, Mitchell must not remain only partly guilty. Gun hand rose slowly, then...
I can't! I didn't mean to. I didn't want
But
to.
you did. Come on. We've got to get them into the stream, both of them. The body's gone. Mitchell helped me dig a hole, bury the money, and cover it up again. Then...
That is fine, Phyllis.
Very. Light a cigarette for me, Mitchell. My hands are dirty.
Mike Hassler is alive. Mike Hassler is not dead.
No.
The police are now convinced beyond any doubt that...
Car radio again. I shut it off and dismissed it from my mind. Faulty wiring. We left for home the following morning. Now I was worried about Mitchell. He sat beside me, quiet, rigid. I had no idea what he was listening for until...
Phyllis.
Yes?
Stop the car.
What for?
You're only making believe. You hear it. You know you do. His heart.
Mitchell, listen to me. Back there in the woods, I would have killed you without a moment's hesitation.
No.
But I couldn't. You're part of my alibi. Now, you're in this as deep as I am. And if you insist on carrying on this way, you'll hang
No. You hear it, too. You just don't want to admit
You're
it.
insane.
But you must. His heart. Hassler's still beating in the trunk.
Hassler is dead and buried.
But not his heart. The Indian, he heard it. He knew.
Stop it.
You don't hear it. Boom from the trunk, from Hassler's heart.
In the trunk, is it? I'll show you.
What are you...
The garage up ahead. We're turning in.
Phyllis!
I'm asking the attendant to open the trunk to check the spare. And you're not getting out of the car.
Phyllis.
Yes, ma'am. What'll it be?
One of my tires feels a little soft. Would you check the air for me?
Okay, ma'am, sure.
And would you take a look at the spare, too?
Yes, ma'am, sure will.
Phyllis, listen. It's louder. He'll find out as soon as he opens the trunk. Phyllis, please, there's...
Shut up.
That Indian, he knew all about it, the way he laughed and spoke about his heart. Who turned the radio on? Who?
32, right, and he's here. Same on the spare, ma'am?
Please.
Phyllis, no. For heaven's sake. He's found it. No. It can't be. Anything else?
Thank you, no. Here, this is for you.
Thanks. Have you looked in your trunk lately, ma'am?
No. Why?
Kind of messy. Must rattle when you're going fast.
Oh. I'll fix it when we get home. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there's your heartbeat. You heard him, didn't you? A rattle. Tools rattling. Where's your beating heart now?
I don't hear it. I don't hear a thing. Phyllis, you better pull over. Let them pass.
What is it, an ambulance?
Police.
Pull over, lady. Okay, lady. Let's see your driver's license.
What's the trouble?
Never mind. Let's see the license.
Here.
Phyllis Bagley, eh?
Yes.
Out of the car, both of you. Okay, Joe. Let's take a look in that trunk.
Okay.
Trunk. Why do you want to look in the trunk?
God. Lucky that gas station attendant called.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bagley, what's in that sack?
I don't know.
Well, we'll soon see. Give me a hand, Joe.
Okay.
What a mess.
What's it look like to you?
It's him, all right. Mike Hasley.
I told you. I told you.
No. Oh, not that. No.
What I'd like to know is why they did it this way. Sticking him full of little holes and blowing his brains out and then drowning him. I don't get it.
No, stop it. Stop his heart. Stop it.
Joe, grab her. Joe, good Lord, she's trying to kill him all over again.
A man may be dead, but death is no end, for his heart will go on beating endlessly in the brain of the murderer, endlessly until a gallows trap is sprung, and the murderer's brain, too, is dead, having paid in full the price for murder at midnight. Remember to be with us again when death's footsteps echo in the deserted streets and the clocks strike 12 for murder at midnight. Elspeth Eric and Louis Van Ruten were heard as Mrs. and Mr. Bagley. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.